Hello. What's that mean? What does WIT mean? I'll have to look it up. I'm not good at abbreviations. Does it mean what I think? Or does it mean wit like the actual word wit? I guess I'll never know. Hello. Hi. As it says here, if you want to join and talk about big topics, feel free to write your topic here and press the guest, and we can chat in here. But if it's personal, it's for Patreon members. Oh, thank you for the hearts. But let's get this party started. That's not a question. Did you want to ask questions about what I know about the simulation, or and how you can look into it more, or are you just not social? That's why I'm here. I'm here to pass on my stuff that I know, that can empower people, and also you know, like why, like, so that people can think for themselves and be like, well, why is this important to me? Because when we say statements like that, it doesn't, it's like, okay, and why? Like, you know? But I'm the and why. Don't want to talk about it? Okay, well, it goes by question, so whatever you have questions about. But do you want to come in the box? I give keys, and I help you open your zip files, but that's how we do it. Because there's only so much people can type, so usually we just do it this way. And when the other people, like regulars, come on, we'll be talking anyway, so that'll be the time when we can just, you know, chill. Like, you can just chill in it, but right now there's no one that's come yet, so the next person that asks questions has to be in the little box. It's more fun, trust me. Oh no. Why do people have to ruin everything? No? No boxes? Oh, everybody left. Okay. Oh my god, Aslan. Remember the alien lady that kept letting everybody down and saying ships were coming and stuff? Yeah. She now has found the 7 videos and is like using that now. What is wrong with her? Yeah, there's no one here. And that girl's busy making videos about stuff like that, so I don't think she's gonna see this. And if she is, maybe she needs to know. Oh my god, I can't have it. Like, she's just like took over. I can't. I'm just. And she's like, she says she communicates with the same energy as her. Why is she doing this? Does anybody want to come? Because I'm gonna go soon. Let's see if there's anybody. Uh-oh, what was that? I can't believe that. Oh my god, she even calls him Alien 7. What the hell? You can't do this. What's wrong with her? Oh my god, she's like the alien clout queen. What the? Oh my god. Hello. You want to come up? Sorry, I was getting into this thing. Hi.
Hey, I'm so sorry if I woke you up when I was
Oh,
messing.
no, no.
I I have to get better with the time zones. I was like, no, no, crap, stop doing that.
Uh-oh,
Oh,
are you
one
there?
second, it's trying to freeze. There it goes. Yeah, it's just very stormy right now.
Okay.
But no, I was gonna say,
Oh,
wish
okay.
me luck. I'm about to go back and try to get some of my belongings.
Oh. Is it like where you were living or?
Hopefully, it's still there.
Okay.
Um,
No, like the place that you're going to,
they
is it
left
where you
plenty of
used to
mess.
live?
Yes. Uh, I finally had to say, hold on, what's going on here? Because I kept getting told to listen, listen to spirit and follow advice. And I was like, okay, where is this going? Because I don't like where this is
Yeah.
going. And so I had to sit down and have a talk about it. And then no answer, no answer. And they said, well, I'll connect you with people that can help you enter your path. And a bunch of homeless individuals who are like die hard, do everything for source no matter what it costs.
Oh my
And they're
God.
telling me like, oh, don't sweat it. I let go of all four of my children. I left them behind. That's what you got to do. I was like, no, 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 no. It's not.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be what people tell you though, right? It should be your
Yes,
decision and
absolutely.
then
But
they help you with that decision you've made, right?
yeah, but when I was like, I didn't have people telling me this. I was trying to do my best to sit, meditate, and kept coming in my dreams and everything else. And I was like, well,
Yeah.
I want to take a look at this with a different perspective. Let's use the human perspective. This is going to cause me to die, it seems like. And then that's when I'll get you in contact with people that can help. And then same thing that happened with you. Lots of different animals kept showing up, and I was like, okay, so something's going on. I'll get on the computer. It's a bunch of people that are living in the back of a car, or they're living in their cars. They abandoned their children, and to each their own. That's their decision. But when they
Yeah.
try to talk to me about it, like, we're connected. I know that you have a kid. And I was like, okay, so they do know my situation somewhat because I didn't
Yeah.
bring that up.
Yeah.
They're like, well, you just got to leave them behind. I was like, yeah, no, no. And then I did not realize that there was hate cultures within this whole experience. or ex-
Well, the thing is like I always talk about this is that it doesn't matter if someone where they're getting their information. They could be from anything. It doesn't matter. It's not fair to. It's not. It shows that someone has not worked on it, like because we all have this, but they haven't worked on how to handle it with other people. And this goes for all psychics and mediums and stuff like that. They think still that they can tell people what to do. Oh, there's a huge echo.
oh, that's here. Let me get rid of that. That is, I'm sitting in my vehicle. Let me take care of that real quick. Disconnect. I was like, why do I hear your voice four times? Okay, there we
And
go. Come on. There we go. I
okay,
think that might be a little better.
yeah. So it's I think that it doesn't like there's a lot of like things going on still that I just hope that they finally deteriorate. But the hierarchy things, any kind of hierarchy, or thinking that a title means anything. And I know a lot of people get really upset when I say things like that. I know you wouldn't, but other people they get really sad. But it's I'm actually setting them free and they just don't want to be set free. So when someone is like sent to you for the thing, like for example, if they're saying that, they're supposed to help. Like they might be good for you if you're not a human match because it shouldn't only be energy. You have to be a human match as well. So for example, I might be a match because I worked on certain things, and so my human life, like what I've gone through, and also what my intentions are. Like I know what I want, I know my intentions, and um I know that I was giving a lot of things and how to make sure that I don't, because if I do that, then I can't help people the way I need to, right? And so I've gone through all those things. People would make that a gatekeeping thing and say, I went through the trials of being a blah, blah, blah. Like they would, I was watching some videos where people were saying that you need to go through the trials of being a shaman and things like that. And I'm like, it's not that you need to go through trials to have a title. You need to go through the things that you would like to get to because you have an intention and a want. And when you have those intentions and wants, then you get all the skills you need to be an energy match for the people who are going through the same thing and probably want the same things. So, someone who is houseless, their energy might be a good connection for you, but it's if it's source, it's like it's very vague as well. But
Yeah.
that part would be a match, but the human to human thing is not a good match because they didn't go through something, and in their situation right now would be the intention or thing you would want, right? I don't think that makes sense. Even you're saying that they're like, you don't match with the fact that they left their kids behind, right? So
Yeah, and they are very
that's what I mean
afraid to
by
die.
an energetic match. Like someone would come to be an energetic match, and then the first thing they should be doing is helping you to keep making your own decisions and then helping you with those decisions that you make, right?
And I was just thrown off by it that you were spot on with the titles. Everyone's name was Oracle this,
See?
Prophet this, just all over, and
Always.
uh, they were extremists. Is the only way I could do that. I hate to label somebody as that,
That's
but
what happens, though.
like my
That's what
intentions
happens.
is I want to make the world a better place, and I want people to stop hurting me. So what I did was when I went through my healing process, I stood my ground. I decided I need to be more firm in what I want because I used to be either like a dictator to control people to get everyone to get along, or I would just
Yeah.
let people walk over me. I found the happy medium and I put up my boundaries. These
Yeah.
people were coming at me with like 8, 9 paragraphs a piece,
Hmm.
all caps, saying how worthless I am, how fake I am because I don't want to leave my child. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, there's something in the water here. I'm gonna go ahead
Yeah.
and take a step back.
So yeah, that's what you have to think about is like, yes, it doesn't matter where it's coming from, the energy. People think that that's the important part. No, the important part is the person who's filtering it and if they're a good match. Because I think the easiest way, like I always say in my videos, is that the way that someone's a good match is that they are encouraging you to go back to yourself. They're not telling you what to do or how to do it unless you ask for it and you want help with something that that person's doing or whatever. So like if they're like giving you tools that remind you to, and they do it, or sometimes people do it by accident, like if it inspires you to go back and make decisions for yourself. So that's why I said like usually mediums and people who say they're psychics, they usually get upset with me because they are themselves ignoring themselves. They're only doing these title things, and it doesn't make that their experiences and what they have to offer not real. It just they're not a match for everybody, and they think they are. So like something vague like saying you're a medium. If you say you're a medium, you're saying that you are being a medium behind of the two things. And the funny part is they always talk about death things, and you're not really talking to dead things anyway. You're talking to a piece of the bigger energy of the person you know. It's very, very rare that it is the actual one. It can happen, but it's very rare. And they're not dead. They're just another version. That's usually the rare one is it's another version. Like it's because we have all the ones happening at once. So
Mm.
like even that, they specialize in that and that even isn't correct. So yes, they do help people feel better and they do connect with something. But the fact that they think they're dead and telling someone that they're dead, it's like it doesn't, it, it makes it so that person who's talking can't get in contact themselves. They're like, okay, this person talks to dead people. That's what they say. Instead of it being like, oh, they connected me And I feel like I could do that again myself because you know what I mean? Like a lot of the time you're talking to a memory that you had and you can do that and they don't know that. And so it's like that person is, yes, they're helping you get in contact with that memory, but that's not fair, right? If the person they don't know, those mediums don't know that. But if they knew that, can you imagine how nice that would be? They would be helping, not only would they be helping people understand that, but they'd be helping them be able to help themselves. But they're not doing that. And I'm hoping that more people like that will stop being mad at me and they will start finding out how they can do that. But it's
Well,
okay.
that's why
Yeah.
I was like, man, I hope she's not asleep. I'm not trying to bug anyone right now, but I need a dose of reality with all the crazy I just got slapped with. Because even one of them was, I don't got to go there. It was just wild.
Well, if you want to talk about, like I said, if you bring up topics, I can do that on the live. Like topics that that are good for everyone. Like that, for example, that's a topic. But if it's like a personal back and forth, like the other thing we talked about, it would definitely have to be a session because there's a lot to do, and we couldn't be doing that on the live. And I don't think those things are good to do in the public anyway because what happens is the
Personal.
like we had a mini one on one of the lives. I don't know if you were on that live where I was telling someone something and they're like, I oh it was the time oh you weren't on that one. I was telling people how like they didn't understand that they have everything. And so I kind of did one of my things I do in a session for everybody, but I did it for the person. And so they're like, I can't visualize and what do I do? And so then it just becomes like it doesn't match or someone gets mad and it's like you can't like cater like I already cater to the person and like do that, but I can't cater to that on the live. So that's why we in the live if you do want to even if it is related to what you're something's happening, just make it like a big topic and then it'll click, it'll help too. But otherwise it has to be a session and because it's like a back and forth and yeah. Do you know what I mean?
I like I don't understand. I obviously say this. It's apparent. I'm like ankle deep in the water. I view you as someone who's already been out in the water or is familiar with the water. So I can't claim any of these titles, but everybody's trying to tell me, well, if you're able to do this, then that means you're this. I'm like, are you sure about that? Yes, I was able to use my phone to let me know that I was about to be betrayed by my own family again. And all that happened was the screen came on itself. It went to TikTok. It picked a video that says the trap door's open, and you're about to find out there's a second one. Don't trust who's about to speak to you. They're coming in now. And then the door slams open to the point where the doorknob puts a hole in the wall. They come piling down the stairs and saying that, oh, you're under attack. There's people out here trying to kill you right now. You have to get out of here now. And I'm like, there's nobody trying to kill me. You guys are trying to mess with me again. I saw you get up at night. I placed cameras around to make sure because they were trying to make me feel like I was crazy. They're narcissists. I'm hoping that, and I don't mean like they are narcissists, they're very narcissistic people.
Mm-hmm.
They think that they have to get after someone if you're able to do something that they can't. And that fuels them. I understand that now. I don't have to hate them for it. I still love them, even though they are not good individuals, not in this current point in their life. And that's okay. But I don't know that I can do all these things that all these people are claiming that I can do. And I don't think that they fully understand what they're saying. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but they're saying
But
like, "Oh, you do this, oh, you do that." And I'm like, "No, not
I
really."
think you need to understand that it's none of their business. No one can tell you what you are or what you do. The only thing they can do is if you want to know more things and someone's helping guide you to that thing, yes. But no one can tell you those things.
I
No
was trying
one.
to conceptualize the information that was given, and it just didn't mesh with anything. That's where I was giving them the benefit of the doubt, which, like I said, learning to put boundaries up. That's been my journey.
Yeah,
Put those
it's very
boundaries up
important.
and be like, why? Because now I have one fellow telling me that he was told to contact me so that we can establish time travel. You worked as an engineer, correct? I was like, yes, but not that kind.
Mhm.
I'm like, I think you need to be more specific about the questions you ask.
Yeah.
Like, if I had to contact somebody who'd know what I'm talking about, I'm like, well, I dabbled in quantum physics and I dabbled in engineering. Does not mean I am either of those.
Yeah, it remember all these things, it doesn't matter what they're saying. Like if they come to you and they say you're this or you someone told me to do this, it doesn't matter how or what they're actually saying. It's none of their business. It's up to you. It's just like for example, like energies are coming to me all the time and I'm like I'd only it's up to me what which ones I want to talk to. Sometimes I have to find I found out that it's a different version of me that sends this energy or something and then you find that out but like you're it's up to you like there's no reason why someone like it's not like I feel like sometimes we are worried that like someone comes and we're like, oh, I'm going to miss my chance and I'm being ungrateful. But that's not how it works. How it works is it keeps coming over and over again. Just like all the annoying things that we don't like in life that keep repeating over and over again. It's just, it's how it works. It's your choice to break the cycle or whatever it is, like the loop, or it's your choice to collaborate with someone. You don't have to do any of this stuff. Like, you know, like we think that. Like I thought that in the very beginning with the angel thing I talked about. You don't
Yeah.
have to.
That's what
And
I
if
got
you
stuck.
ask, what?
I said, yeah, that's what I got stuck in there for a moment because I thought, because they were telling me like straight up and
No,
down, making it sound like it was a you have to do this or this is all going to fall
no,
apart.
you
And
don't.
then it dawned on me, I'm like, you are just driving me to the edge of my capabilities and essentially pushing me off a cliff.
It's a human thing because human it's the society that we've built. It's not a big like the bigger energy that you talk to, the less they care. The less like you this is how it works. So like let's say you talk to an original energy that is almost outside of creation basically. And you talk to them they don't even know they're like, oh, who is this? Like that's the vibe that they give. Like they're like, oh, what's happening? So the closer they are to being a human, the more they're involved and they have like they're closer to the systems, if that makes sense. Especially
It,
like the God job roles. They're very close to the systems that humans have created. So they're going to either understand those systems and not like them and not use them, or they're going to use them a lot and not know. So that's what you have to think about. If a human is coming to you, there's a very strong chance they are a part of that part, like a part of the system, and they're just upholding that. Like I don't know if you've heard things where like let's say you have some a problem with a family member and someone's like, "Oh, but it's your mom," or "Oh, it's your sister," or "Oh, it's your brother." They say things like that. That
Mhm.
is not coming from a place where that person knows your situation and knows you because they
That's,
can't. They don't they're not you. And
that's a
it's coming
societal
from a
norm.
system. It's coming from a program like a system. And it's not a bad thing. It's just that's what it's coming from. It's not tailored to you. It's not tailored to you. It's them knowing random knowledge about you. Like they know that you are related to that person. They don't know what your decision is, and they shouldn't. It's none of their business, right?
Like this is a fun one, and I'll share. There's not too many people in here, but when I go back to my hometown, everyone will look at me, stare at the ground really quickly, and then the second I turn my back, get on their phone, and then anxiously, if they do smoke, most of them seem to do in that town, but they'll start chain smoking as fast as they can in panic while getting on the phone trying to tell everyone else I'm there. And I even walked over to one. She's like my second cousin. I just walked over to her and gave her a hug. She almost like fell to the ground because she was so scared.
Yeah.
That's where I'm like, okay, so I know I don't fit in there. Everyone is terrified because I can call them out on their nonsense. I got a weird thing of discernment going on where somebody doesn't have to tell me. I can just pick it up real quick and be like, "Why are you doing this?" And then they, "Oh, how did you know?" Ah, run away. I'm like, I was trying to help you not make a bad decision. I'm sorry. And
That's
so
part
I'm
of
learning.
boundaries, though.
Yep, I'm
You don't
learning
have
for
to. You
myself.
don't have to do that. You can let them make bad decisions. It's okay.
Yep, that was the control issue where it's like, if you would just listen to me,
Yeah.
for some reason I know that this is going to fall on your head, so stop messing with it.
Yeah, but at the same time, you have to let them.
Yep, and unfortunately, I think I may just throughout my childhood scared everyone to the point I'm trying to now take accountability for my actions through their perception of me.
How old
Yes,
were you? Were you a child though?
this all started from when I was 2. That's when my mother took me to
Yeah.
some
If it's
thing.
if you have no, there's no reason for that. If anything, you need, like I said, you need some empowering things with your in your childhood. You don't need to take accountability. That's a program. That's a program.
Yeah, that was being forced to work in the fields, being forced to go oversee
Yeah.
construction sites, and getting smacked
Yeah.
if I don't tell them what should be done or what's going to happen, and getting kicked and
So
all the other fun
basically,
things.
you're saying that you should apologize for your trauma responses when
Yeah,
your
I'm
trauma,
apologizing
the
for
that
myself.
trauma version of you hasn't even been able to be heard or integrated back into you. Why is that part of you in trouble? Why it shouldn't be in? It's not in trouble.
It's not. I just wanted to gain perspective so I could fully accept it and be done with it instead of
Yeah,
it
but it's
feeling like
but that's is that how you would treat a friend?
to understand them and bring them in is the goal. So
No, to just say and be done with them.
no,
There
no.
you go.
So you mean? Oh, I see what you're getting at.
You're
Okay,
treating them
okay,
those
okay.
versions of you like a job, and it's not. They're your friends and assets.
I see.
They're full of
To
wisdom. Even baby young ones versions of you.
no, the
And
baby
at the
young.
moment, if you say like I want to be done with that or I need to do someone tells me to do this, so I'm going to do that about them, that's putting them in the closet.
I was meaning it as done with the situation. I'm trying to blend everything back
The
together
same
instead of
thing.
being separate.
You're
Is
not
it
being
better?
mean. It's just you have to look at it from a perspective of them being
Like you're
friends.
speaking to. Okay, 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 okay. I see.
They're
I
assets. These are parts of you, not these weirdos that are coming randomly to tell you stuff. These are the energies you need to be listening to and healing and feeding and nurturing, not these weirdos that keep coming.
definitely see that.
Those are the ones. So the ones that you're just like, I need this over with. I'm gonna just do shadow work or whatever. No, those are the ones that are gonna be your assets. They're gonna be your protectors. They're gonna be the ones that are holding wisdom. They're gonna give you the best advice because they're you, not some weirdo that comes randomly and tells you about a job that you could be good at. Like, who cares about them? Like, how
Like
do they know?
he's still messaging me too, and I said, What's your current situation?" And yep, living in the back of his car. I was like, "See, I've already got job applications and put them out and all that stuff, and I got money coming in, so I should be okay." But
Yeah,
if I
so you don't
stayed
need to
on this
listen to him.
path, it would have been that, and I think that was a wake up call I kind of needed because I was like, "My goodness." uh, but trying to so are you trying to say, and I want to make sure that I understand it well, treat them as you said, friends, and stop trying to absorb them back in?
Yeah,
So
it's not
instead,
observe because you say control a lot, and it needs to be about that. It needs to be more about understanding these are parts of you. They're not random things that you're just like, I don't know, like they're weird jobs or annoying things that are happening. They're assets. They're the doors to all the things you want. They're coming forward. All these memories or problems that come forward about you, not about the weirdos, about you, the way that you feel, all those things that are doorways. They're doorways to all your hopes and dreams and what you want.
okay,
So putting them aside and not getting to know them is a disservice to yourself.
I completely understand that. I definitely have to do a little bit more work with the. I was able to get not work. I don't mean it. I got more conversation done with teenage self. It's little kid self. I can't really get a grip on. I'm trying to remember and understand more how I was then
Yeah, just
because
don't dig. Just as it comes up.
okay.
That's when it's powerful because that's when they're ready and you're ready.
Well, I
Digging
can
is not, I don't know. I don't recommend digging. I
I would
think
say you're
it's
probably more
weird.
accurate in that because I tried and the more I go towards my younger self, the further
Oh,
away
hi,
he
Saeed.
that that's been the experience so far. The more I try to connect with them, the further away they hide. So I think it's going to have to be a passive. Let them choose.
Wait, what?
I said the more I
Who's
try
let them
to,
choose?
I'm saying the more I try to connect with my younger self, we're talking like age 8 and down,
Yeah.
it's extremely resistive. Extremely
Yeah, because
resistant.
it's not an energetic match at the moment. They all have to do with what you need and want and where you are on your map. So digging, that's why I don't recommend digging. Some people like to do it, but I don't recommend it because that defeats the purpose. Because the whole point is they come up when you both are an energetic match.
Yeah, and
That's
I'm
the whole
not,
point.
and I'm hoping that I don't have to become an energetic match with my youngest self at the current moment because
It's yeah, but you're
before,
labeling it. It's gonna they will whoever it is will come up. It doesn't matter who they are. They will come up when it has to do
okay,
with the like it's like a video game where it's like the final boss of whatever. So like we always think, "Oh, why is this random memory coming?" or "Why is this happening to me?" And actually there are assets. There are versions of you that are these doorways to the what's behind it. So if you're sad about something, that is a version of you that hasn't been met yet and acknowledged and cherished. And you haven't asked for their wisdom. You haven't, they just don't, they're just nothing to you. You're like, oh my God, why am I sad or freaking out right now? That's a version of you that you could be meeting. And it's going to become a doorway to the next step to where you're going.
absolutely, okay, that makes a lot more sense. That absolutely makes sense with what happened. I don't know if I'm not going to say it on live so you don't get knocked down or blocked or anything, but
Yeah. But also because
one
of
day,
sessions, like we should do it in a session because remember I told you about the
yeah, yeah.
like different ways of shadows and things like that. We can do that together in a session as well. And I can take you through different types and what's going on with that because I can't go into too much detail like I said because then it will be a disservice to everyone because they're going to be like what about me and you know what I
You're
mean? So
fine. I wasn't. I was just going to say there was one moment where a lot of unaliving thoughts kept happening, and I was like, "I'm okay right now. Why is this happening?" And then it just came on
yeah.
like a huge tidal wave.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to go meet that. That was from childhood,
There you go. And it's
so I
very
think
important because that's what we think. We're thinking, oh, what's happening to me? No, it's a version of you. And sitting with that and, going with it, that's the next step. That's always the next step. And it happens. And by the way, you don't have to do anything. This is just for people who are very aware because we're aware. So why not, take it a step further and make it easier on ourselves? But this will naturally happen. This is why people will be like struggling and randomly they're okay. They're like, what happened? It's because it does get taken care of. And that's why when people are like, with spiritual people are saying, you have to do this and you have to do that and you have to go through this process to get to this. Absolutely not. It's just when you are, conscious and seeing these things, it's very helpful and makes your life not stupid, like, right? Because that's what happens is if you don't know what's going on, you're like, oh my God, I'm having a horrible time and I don't know why I feel gross. And you just stay in bed like forever. Whereas like if you know that's going on and you can do something about it if you feel up for it, you can have like way more out of it. Like life becomes more special. And it's like instead of just being in pain and going, okay, well, I'm randomly in pain. That's what life is. It's like ups and downs. Now you can be like, this pain, I've sat with this pain. And we're like best friends now. And now next time I feel this same type of pain, it's going to be more of a nod, like nod to each other, like, hey, and like, what's up? And they're going to be able to give you information. What, like, that's amazing. Like, who wouldn't want that, right? But that's what everybody's missing out on. You don't have to have it. You'll get through it. That's why people say that you'll get through it. But this is how you get through it if you don't want to just get through it, because you will. But what about like,
when it
you
comes
know,
back.
yeah, exactly. And then that way you're not worried about it coming back. You're like, hey, I see you.
It's
What
like
happened?
my
What did we not
situation.
take care of last time?
I definitely agree with your take on it much better, and I am very happy that even though I was terrified in the moment, I was able to find your channel. That's that's gonna be a hard one to forget. That was a weird experience. First time dipping into this, but no, I finally I did enough work in that. Yes, my situation is still not the best, and that's okay. But
Yeah,
it's not making me fall apart like it was before. And it
yeah.
was even funny enough that one of the individuals, when I went to go pick up my son, I heard them audibly say, "How in the world is he still alive?" I'm like, "Oh, you just told on yourself. I know which group you're a part of, sir. Have a good day.
Ew,
Continue walking."
that's gross.
So I'm like, "Well, if this work keeps me standing and it freaks them out, then absolutely, let's do it."
Mine's all sneaky. Everything that you're talking, mine's more sneaky things. And like they do, like it's a like yours is very like upfront. Mine's all sneaky and
Well,
yeah,
I found out they
not
did
great.
steal a few $100,000 that I received in inheritance from my grandfather.
Okay,
So that would have been nice to catch, but
yeah.
I can build back up. I don't need it.
Maybe it would have been tainted and creepy.
Probably he was a Mason.
Yeah. Maybe it would tie you together still with it, but maybe not. You never know. It's up to you because everything's like a simul. I know that's like scares people, but everything is a simulation and coding, so you can rewrite the code. It's just that you have to decide that for yourself. But if you yourself are like freaking out, the code won't be written because that's how we rewrite codes and stuff.
I still try to
Because for
manifest. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, that's okay.
I said I'm still trying to manifest justice, but I'm not killing myself over it anymore.
Yeah,
I could call whoever I want. I could get the FBI, and it's they've done this for decades. So the odds of it getting cracked open, it can happen.
yeah,
But am I going to kill myself over trying to manifest it? Because at first it was just, as you mentioned, the tap.
yeah.
The tap was going on. And
Exactly,
that's an early grave if you leave that open.
exactly. And that is all about boundaries. And again, rewriting. It's about rewriting things and boundaries together. I usually don't talk about the rewriting things because it, like I said, it takes a lot of. It's very personalized for per person because the way, like, I probably wouldn't talk about it in like on TikTok like videos because yeah, it's really different per person because of what they've gone through and their energy style. Also, how conscious they are of their energies because there's not just rewriting your human life, there's also rewriting who you're connected to. You can rewrite that. You won't completely sever it, but you will with the big energy, but you will be able to have more connections to something else, if that makes sense. But you can rewrite everything. It's just like code in a computer. And I know that sounds wild, but that's how it is.
Oh, I figured it is. I've seen enough people trying to talk about different numbers, saying, "Oh, if you say these numbers, this will happen." I was like,
That's that's not
"That's
it. But
what
that
you're."
is like they're onto something. They're
I
sensing
said
it. But
they have the
that's
intention, but I don't think they're on it. Because if numbers would magically make something generate, then the amount of times I've read mailboxes out loud, something would have happened. But I
yeah,
feel
no,
like
but they're onto
sensing.
something in the sense that what I call it is like they can they get the vibe of it. Like a lot of conspiracies are like that. They're onto something and they feel the temperature. Oh, the temperature. That's what I say. They feel the temperature of it, but it's not the whole picture, and it's not going to really help them. And that's why a lot of people get sad and lonely, and then they get really happy when they finally get a group together of conspiracy, because they're like, oh, we can all do this together and sense it together, but they'll never go further than it. Like, they'll never do anything about it. It'll never bring something to their life. They'll just be sad and miserable because they're only like sensing it. So those things are cute in the sense that, like, for example, I wouldn't call them cute, but for example, QHTT is one of those things. It tells people they're like that there's more than just this, but it's not enough because those people don't understand that it's not past, and they also don't understand that about the energetic matches. So if you go to a practitioner that is not an energetic match to you, but you force the match with money, that's what people do. They're like, or like, I don't know, they got good publicity or something weird like that. Then you're not going to get as much information, and you're going to get it filtered in the way of that person who's the practitioner. And so it can be a cool thing if the practitioner does know, but the whole point of QHTT is to do past lives, right? It's like they say past lives. So I don't know anyone who does that that actually understands that, because that's the whole point. That's how they train the people.
That's where I
Um,
started getting very confused with, if I'm saying it right, tarot or how everybody says it.
yeah,
I was like,
same
um,
thing. It's a
that,
limited amount of symbols. So we're like infinite beings. Even if our branch is less like a direct branch of where they're from, we're infinite anyway because we're from infinity. It's just what type of branch, where are you, what are you interested in as a human? And so if you go to another person or you're doing it yourself, you're limiting yourself to a little storyline in the tarot. So like
and
how, so like the people I've seen that they actually are better than I'd say the QHTT ones, because I've seen a lot of people just use it and then they put it down and they just do it anyway, and it's like a prop. And it's good in the sense that it makes people feel comfortable to hear the message that they need to hear, but it's not good in the sense that people are thinking that that person is doing something that the other person can't. And it's also gatekeeping because it's a learning curve. So someone has to learn what everything means in the symbols instead of just being yourself. So you have to like translate your own energy and who you are into things that like are in there. So if someone was like, hey, I'm going to learn, I'm inspired by this. And then they're like, oh no, I can't remember all this. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, I just noticed that I had a few people that I was talking to, like, oh, let's do a reading for you. And I was like, every single one of these is different.
Yeah,
Like,
it will be because they're picking something out of infinity.
yeah, I'm like, is this how you're experiencing me in this moment? Is this what you're able
It
to grab
is.
onto?
Yeah,
And I'm like, there's
exactly.
not enough consistency here for me to say, oh, this is it. But at the same time, they're trying to tell me, no, this is it. And I'm like,
Yeah, because that's what they've been taught. So that's what everybody thinks, like they have to like it has to be that thing that they say. And like the other thing that is upsetting as well is the future stuff. So when they say that, when someone hears psychic, they don't think of like actually being able to be connected to everything, because they don't even know that there's an everything, right? They're just thinking that, oh, they know the future. Tell me those, what do you call it, winning numbers. Like that's how people think of it. So if they think that way, of course the people who are doing it think that way, because they're gonna only have clients and people thinking those things.
that's
Or do
something.
a reading, tell
Yeah.
me who I am. Like that kind of stuff. That's also future if you think about it, because who is someone that changes and fluctuates all the time, like whether they want to know that or not.
At least for my little niche and what I fall into, I noticed that when I was, well, one of the handlers who ended up being my boss at one point before I found out he was a handler, um, he would say, okay, the customer wants this to be built. How's it look? Now, if they turned around 5 minutes later and say, hey, they want it this way now, I couldn't do it.
Yeah,
I
hold
need
on.
more time
It's
to
doing
sit
this. Wait,
back.
hold on a second. It's doing this puzzle thing. I know, and it's not letting me do it. It might end the live. There's like a puzzle I have to do. Oh, here it is. Okay.
Oh,
I have to like match it on to it. Okay, it worked.
But I could take the first rendition of what that person tells me, like what they're feeling like for their house, what they want, and after they give me about 2, 3 sentences in,
Yeah,
I would get a picture of everything. But if they change
yeah,
their mind over and over again, guess what doesn't happen? I can't give you the finished product. That's my own experience in
exactly.
it. I'm sitting there going,
Yeah.
I got nothing for you. My head is just fuzzy. So I almost wonder if that was the deal with tarot.
Well, that's what it is with everything. So you're reading, remember, everybody's reading, whether we know it or not, consciously and unconsciously. We're reading each other. And remember that I don't know if you're on the live when I was talking about the depths. So if you're like this deep or like whatever you've learned, if you're reading another person and you haven't gone that deep in yourself, you can only go that deep. So that's like an energy match thing. So like for example, me, I wouldn't be able to go to any of these people unless they're on the same page as me. If they are not on the same page as me, at least it would be like it would turn into a school thing and they'd probably get offended. Oh, here's Camille.
Oh, Camille's here.
Yeah. There's someone who requested named Soul. Let's see. Hi, do you want to come up here? Soul. If you write your topic or question down here, Soul, then I can let you up here. But that's how it goes on the live.
But oh, Camille, by the way, I've been feeding your nuthatch. It showed back up. It got some
Oh,
broccoli and
thank
cheesy
you.
rice.
Did you say broccoli?
Yeah, broccoli and cheesy rice.
Wow, I can't believe it keeps coming back. That is kind of adorable. I love it. Oh my
But
gosh. So what are you all talking about? I just put the toddler down to sleep. So
Oh,
I'm
that's
just
okay.
catching
Lots of stuff.
Okay.
I've recently had some individuals that I think were connecting to the same energy I was. That was like, no, just full commit. You don't need this. You don't need this.
Mm,
Full commit to this. I was like, are you sure? Because
mm.
I'm a person, and person's got to eat.
I've been there.
And then it connected me to a few people that have the same mentality, and they, well, let's just say they're living their lives a different way, a way I don't want to.
Mm,
Yeah.
The
hmm.
back of the car in the middle of nowhere.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I
That's right.
feel that. I feel that. I've had in the past people be like, just quit your job and just I don't know if that's exactly what you're talking about, but that kind of resonates with me in the sense that I've had people be like, yeah, just quit your job, fall into the void, don't worry about things. And like, while I love that idea, I don't I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know if I want to live in a van in the middle of nowhere. Like,
No.
it's
I
not
was
for me.
I
Oh,
was
go ahead.
saying that it's like an energetic match. So a lot of people concentrate on the like just the energy that is not like tangible or what people say there are or their title, but they don't actually look at the person's life that's giving the advice or helping. And also they don't realize that the person it's a bad sign, I think, if they're not going with what your decision is and helping you with that decision. If they're making your decisions for you and they also have no like similarity to what you want in life, like why would you listen to someone like that? Like even
Yeah.
if it's a family member, like why? Right? They're not an energetic match fully. They're only like it's like a pretend match kind of.
Yeah, yeah, it's like that advice, like don't take advice from someone who you wouldn't want to like switch lives with kind of thing. Like
Yeah.
you want to take advice from people who are doing like a similar thing to you.
Yeah. At least. And also, they should be encouraging what you are working on, what you want, and saying, hey, and keep bringing you back to yourself.
Yeah.
There's a few people who have suggested to join. If you want to come up, just write your, it says up here, just type your, what your little topic is, and then we can see if it is for our live, and then you can hop up here. But otherwise, we'll just keep chatting.
Sorry about that, all. We got to keep it rolling. I was going to ask both of you. Uh, I think that if I learn how to better control my energy, I might be able to work around people without them getting so freaked out. The
Not
eye
control.
contact thing, sorry, yes, not control, learn to live with it and blend with it,
No,
or
not to learn to live with it.
recognize it.
No.
What is it?
Keep going.
Well,
What did I say earlier?
earlier you said treat it like a friend.
So how would you say would you say to a friend when
Uh,
you're what
chill
would
out,
you be doing when you just meet a new friend?
being a lot more gracious and a lot more kind, a lot more open to.
No.
Just start with
Getting
hello.
to know, getting to
Getting to
know.
know
Getting to know
my
yourself.
energy. Okay. Well,
Getting to know yourself, not control.
no, I got excited and I wasn't expressing it. I got very excited because I went to this place. I was like, "Hey, do you have any job applications by chance?" She said, "Yeah." She was looking at me, and as she handed it to me, I looked at it, and she said, "Oh, I think they're urgently hiring." That got me excited. I didn't express it on my face, but when I looked back at them, their face went flush and started staring at the ground. And then I turned around, the person behind me in line. Same thing happened to him. Happened again. Happened again. I'm like, I'm not even making eye contact this time. Stop looking at my eyes, people. What is happening?
Mhm.
I'm
Don't
like,
worry, you're just getting to know.
I'm
They,
overwhelming
also, you're
everyone.
allowed to do that. It's fine. You're allowed. It happens to me too.
Mhm.
But it has to do with how you feel about it. That will change it. If you are still ashamed of it, they're going to be ashamed and they're going to act that way.
Okay, okay. So I'm
It's
mirroring.
about you getting to know yourself.
I'm
If
forcing a
you
mirror on
can't
them.
do anything wrong. There's no switch to turn off and on. You're just existing and being you.
I always feel bad because people. It looks
Yeah.
like people are treating me like royalty. Like, oh, don't
Yeah.
look at it. Don't look at it. I'm like, that's not what this is. I.
Yeah. It's not that. It's because you have something special and that will could be an indication later for finding of helping you get to know yourself, but it's not about figuring it out. It's not about putting a title on it. Remember we talked about titles earlier. It's about actually knowing more about yourself. You're getting to know yourself. You're not forcing yourself. You're not forcing things. You're not doing anything wrong. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not having to hold back. Like, it's not X-Men with like laser eyes. You're okay.
Well, even like
It's not your fault.
a college course I took, I sat in the back row so that I wouldn't throw off the professor, and
That's
I made sure to
shame.
look at the
That
board
is
so I
shame.
didn't freak him
That's
out.
shame.
And
And I'm sad that you even have to feel that way. That's shame.
no, that was my upbringing, so that's going to be the next one to work on, I
But it's
guess.
still
Not
shame.
work on. That's
It
a
was your
shadow part.
upbringing, but it's still shame. And you have every right to exist and sit anywhere in the classroom.
But it just made me laugh because now what I know and what I'm learning from you, it didn't have to be that way. But I feel sorry that I made everyone react that way.
You
But
didn't
it's not
make
about
them.
them.
You didn't make them. I know
No, but
100% that you didn't make them. I know that's very hard because that's all you've heard, but I'm going to tell you now. I'm going to be the one that tells you. It's not your fault for you existing. You are allowed to exist. You're allowed to sit somewhere. You're allowed to ask for a job. You're allowed to ask for a cup of coffee from a coffee place. You're allowed to smile at someone and look them in the eye. No one should not be able to do those things. Otherwise, what's the, like, what?
it just always annoyed me because I could see people doing it. But if I went up to a group that was talking and did it, same reaction over and over and over again.
Yeah, but you
And
still, but it's not that. It's you need to live your life and you need to be yourself.
unapologetically.
Yes.
I just always tried to understand it, and I think I took it in the complete wrong direction because I'd always laugh. I'm like, I'm 5'8" and 190 pounds. I am not intimidating. What? Why are you people always
You're
cowering?
not. Just
And
to think that are you a nice person? Do you think about others when you do stuff? Are you gracious and nice?
yes,
Okay, so what's the problem?
that's what I was
Right?
always trying to find out.
There's nothing wrong with you. Like you should be able to look at people and do those things. That's not fair to you. And it's okay also that you felt that way. So don't shame yourself for feeling that way. but you're allowed to be yourself.
Could
You're
I
allowed to go to and look at that lady. If she feels weird, that might be anything. It could be anything. Do you know what I mean? Like you could
yeah,
have initiated something, but we don't know what her it's her reaction. It's a step by step thing. So like you might have initiated as in like she feels something, but she doesn't know it's you. Does that make sense?
kind of. I was actually meaning to ask last time because you mentioned that you, when I brought it up before, you're like, oh, I get that. I understand that. People look me in the eyes and they act different. Does
Yeah.
it, does
But
it,
but I learned because before I would be weird about it as well. I was the same as you. That's why I know that you need to hear this because I was the same way. I'm like that with laughing. When I laugh, I'm laughing because I like things and I'm full of joy. Like it's me exploding with joy. So that is like with from my type of energy that could like burn people apparently. And there's someone, and that's not a bad thing. It's a good burn. Like I'm not doing anything. I'm just existing.
I can,
Everyone deserves to express themselves as long as they're not, like I said, they're not, if they're not being thoughtful of others and things like that, it's different. But if you're just being yourself, there's a reason why you're just being yourself. You're in that probably moment for the right time, for the right, you don't know what happened later with that lady. What if you open something really magical and later she finds out something? Like maybe it felt initially uncomfortable, right? Like we don't know. You don't know the whole thing. And that's what happened to me is I started to learn what's going on. When I found out that it's joy, there's like people who will, yeah, and I have friends that have witnessed, lots of people, they think I'm making fun of them. When, like, how would I be making fun of them? Like, I'm just not
yeah,
even looking at
that
them. They
happens
would think
all the
it's me.
time.
And they would also think that this guy yelled at me and he's like, ha 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 ha, like that to me on the street. No reason. So, like, if when I found out that it's me expressing pure joy and pure, like, happiness and love, and then when you know that, and I know for sure I do because I learned all this stuff, when you know that, then you're like, it's almost, you feel sad. You're like, okay, I can't believe that pure joy and love has someone feeling like uncomfortable. But it
It does.
does.
It really does.
And
And
also
that's the
later,
problem.
you don't know what happens later. In the beginning, they're like, oh my God, what's going on? I don't like this. Ah! But then later, you don't know what happens. I've gotten the pleasure of seeing what happens later. There's some people that have written me letters that I was like, I think it was like a school situation. And this girl was like, I gave you such a hard time, but it was because you made me feel like happiness and it made me feel so uncomfortable. And I apologize. Like I've gotten so many letters like that, but it
I
takes
gotta,
years for them to it to work. And they're like, it
okay.
actually got me through blah, 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 but it was so uncomfortable.
I'm trying to understand how to become more acquainted with it, more familiar with it, so that
Yeah.
maybe I can learn how to flow the intensity in different ways. Because like you said, if you laugh, and this is the problem with work in the past, every place I've worked, no matter how genuine, how transparent I am, and I make an extra effort, they see what I say is what I do, they think I'm out to get them.
Same.
Well, you know what? I think
Same.
honestly with the workplace though, like the workplace, at least, you know, I'm in the US. I think Trent, you're in the US as well. I kind of feel like the workplace in America is almost like designed to do that. That it's like there's a lot of um like yeah, people being out to get one another. Like that's part of the game. So like if you come and you're genuine
Exactly.
and you're jovial and you actually are just like having fun and you want to work together, people are
Yeah.
like, no, you're trying to stab me in the back. Like that is
Exactly.
not
Yes.
okay. And that has
Yes.
happened so many times. Like when I was like really early in my career and I was super naive because I'm just like this little ball of light, but I'm going into corporate America and I'm just like, hey
Yeah.
guys, you want to make some spreadsheets? And they're like, ew, what the fuck? Like, what is
And
Exactly.
that's the problem for systems for me, because the
yeah.
engineering thing, I pick it up really quickly. I can understand it. For whatever reason, it's like this stuff hard for me. Oh my goodness, what we're doing here, super difficult.
Yeah.
But engineering, it's systematic. It's been there. It's nothing new. So I can look at it pick it up fairly quickly, and move on. But the foreman that I had started stealing hours off of my paycheck because he
Yeah.
said, "You're after my job.
Yeah.
That's why you're
Yep,
learning this stuff.
same.
That's why you know this stuff. You're after my job." I'm
Always.
like, "No, I know this stuff because I like it."
Yep. They
Yeah.
don't
Well,
believe it. They don't believe it because they don't think that themselves.
yeah. Yeah.
They
And
don't.
I also think a lot of these industries were built off of exploitation. So,
Exactly.
like, if that's the energy that's there, they're not going to understand somebody who's doing something for the love of it or the fun of it.
Exactly.
They just won't.
They're like,
Yeah.
what is this creature? Always. This has been
Yeah.
my always like that for me. Always. And they want to like open you up and see how you work. Like
Yep. Yep.
always.
It's
Yep.
so annoying. We were raising a city block in Springfield, Illinois,
Ooh.
and uh, lots and lots of cement, lots of jacks, lots of measurements. But anyways, the process is going along, and I'm smiling as I'm doing it. And that sent them into a tirade.
Yep.
3 people screaming, cussing. Oh, you think you just know everything? I haven't said a
Yep.
word
They
in the
say this to
past
me all the
hour.
time.
I'm
Well,
doing math.
that's probably also like I can't think of the best word for it, but like a toxic masculinity type of thing too. Like I feel like sometimes if you are male presenting or a man and you're in a male dominated field and you dare to smile, some people don't like that. They just
I think
won't.
it's everyone. I don't think it's a man and woman thing. I know what you mean, but I think it's everyone because it happens to me and it happens from everyone. Everyone has done that to me.
Yeah,
And it's because we like when people react that way, it usually means that you are a system breaker and
yeah, yeah.
that is like a human system. And if you think about it, not like if everyone found out, like for example what my energy does, which they do, they sense it. Everyone's like, that's why people say that people are asleep. I'm like, no, they're not. It's just they have explored less than someone else, and like what different things people they explore different things, right?
Yeah.
But I think that everyone is like very, they know. And so, for example, let's say if you've chosen to not go deep or to learn things and you just want to get it done and you want to go in and out, you go into the place and someone is like, you can feel it. You can feel them breaking the system. You can feel them like pushing buttons. That is disrupting them getting in and out. They're like, oh my God, what if this company like goes away? Or what if like my job goes away or whatever? Like instead of them just doing the thing they want to do where they go in and out and they've chosen that, this person's like, hey, I want to just make everybody have it. It just doesn't match, right? And that's how they see us. Even if we're not acting that way, that's how they feel and see us. And this happened all the time. I remember there's this girl I was working with and she would come up to me and say, why do you have to make everything so complicated? And it was none of her business. I was doing a phone call. It was a customer service thing. I was doing a phone call and she was critiquing me on that as if she had to do with the phone call. Who cares how I was talking to that customer? It's my business and that customer's, and they were happy. The customer didn't care. But that's because it made her feel weird. And I know she did it all the time to me, and she was a pretend friend or whatever, like a work friend, but she wasn't. She was constantly saying that. You're so weird. You're like a clown. You're always like blah, blah, blah. Like, and that's how it works. It's these systems, anything that's a system, it doesn't matter what it is, that's been made by humans. And people will feel threatened because you have to think of what their intentions are. If their intentions are they don't even know what they want, that's how they're gonna act.
Yeah.
I got very good at becoming a chameleon, so to speak, a social chameleon, because of that.
People pleaser.
Yeah, instead of being proud of who I am and just being
Name it.
myself. Yeah.
I'm a recovered people pleaser, so I always could spot it in 2 seconds.
Absolutely. I can't deny it. Before the people pleasing episode, I was very extremely bossy and controlling by using the gifts that I do have without understanding them. It was, you're going to listen to me because I know better. You want to know why I know better? Because I know better. Now be quiet. And then I'd prove to them that I knew better. Well, yeah, that's not the way to go. That really isn't. So I had to take a step back from that, and then it turned into soft puppy. What can I do? What can I do for you? What can I do for you? And I'm like, well, that's too far.
Same. Mine was the same. When I was a kid, when I was about, I think, 6 through 7, I was 100% channeling these like warrior fae versions of me, and I was basically making all the boys in the street build huts out of bamboo and things like that. And we would have like who's the best street and things like that. And I was so intense because I realized that I got a bit lonely. So like when I was in school, I was like at 5 years old, and I was in kindergarten. This is why this happened. I would talk to kids and I'm like, let's do stuff. And the kids would be like, "Wah!" like that. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, but I have plans. Like, let's do this stuff. And I kept like having these ideas and stuff. And they didn't know. They wanted to stick their nose in like booger things and all kinds of stuff like that. And I'm like, why are you doing that? And they would just go, "Whoa!" and like be weird, right? And so then I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to tell them what to do because they don't do anything. And then like if I'm going to be bored. And so that's what I started doing. I started telling them what to do. And then after that, I became a people pleaser as well because I realized even that didn't work. So that's like us trying to find out how to be a human, kind of, if that makes sense. And that's what happens. Like you go through those and you realize, oh, that didn't work. And then, oh, this is like, and then you start to get like the people pleaser usually gets really damaged. And you kind of can't get out of being a people pleaser except for healing it and recovering and putting boundaries and things like that.
Yeah, and that's why I say sorry so much when I'm on here for cutting you guys
Yeah.
off. Because I'm trying to find my happy medium. And lately with the stress, it's more, no, you're going to be quiet. I'm speaking now. And I'm not going to pull that on anybody. Those days are gone. That's why I'm like, okay, I would prefer to be a little bit more people pleasing if I'm trying to have a conversation. I'm not
Yeah.
going to be a
Just be
butthead.
aware. Remember, just be aware. And that's how you break cycles in a gentle, friendly way to yourself, is you just be aware. And the more aware you are and you just watch yourself do things without any judgment, you're like, okay. And then after a while, it gets annoying. You're like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like you just stop, you change the cycle. So that's what you do. You just keep watching the cycle,
Oh,
watching the
I think
cycle.
Penguin 96 has a question. The
Oh,
way to detect negative.
oh, I
For
didn't
me,
see.
I feel a heaviness in my chest. I can tell if somebody's got ill intentions. I don't have to
Mm,
look at them. I just feel very heavy in my
Oh,
chest.
yeah.
they do, or they need help.
No, I think they're saying just like how do you
No
detect?
way.
I
Huh?
think I think that's what like Penguin's question is just like how do you detect it?
Okay.
I think that's
Well,
what they're saying.
I was gonna say stuff, but I'm working on my people pleasing still. Like I'm a recovering one, so normally I'm like, you guys, blah blah blah. But I was just like, they can read it. So I've been doing both on the live, if you guys could tell. But yeah, I decided to let the if they so it could be that they are going to be not very nice because my energies did tell me to say they were like, Nicole, don't say it, and I'm like, okay. So because they can completely write the stuff and then do it, but they did kind of, but we'll see. Penguin did actually. So are you still there, Penguin?
Yeah, Penguin's still here.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna let you up. Let's see if you're still here. If you're still here, because you did ask the question. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good. I saw your question. Is this the question that you'd like to talk about still? Is there any way to detect negative and positive energy around you?
Yeah, that's exactly what I want to know. Discover.
Okay.
Is,
Wait, what?
is it possible?
If
Is it possible to dictate dictate negative energy around you?
okay, so first, would you like me to talk about the difference between negative and positive energy, and then I can talk about that?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so the difference between negative and positive energy is you can think of it like plotting points. So, like, if you see an X and Y axis, and
Mm,
here's like -4, and here's +5, right? And you
mm,
plot something, right? So when humans, in spirituality, I'd say mainly the 90s, but kind of they were dabbling in the 70s as well. They started to try and measure spirituality. And so
Mm,
they started saying things like, they would, I think people were getting into sleep as well. They were like measuring stuff with like scientists were trying to like, figure stuff out. And the reason why this is an issue and became an issue, you have things like the Gaia channel and stuff like that. It comes from people being wounded about trying to prove things. And proof is for science, which is a finite system with a beginning, a
mm,
middle, and an end, and also something that you can do over and over and over again and get a result that is good, like a medicine. So if you need to take painkillers, for example, you want to take that painkiller and get no pain, right? You don't want it just to be random. So finite is still important, but with spirituality, it's not. So
mm,
that term negative and positive comes from when humans tried to attempt to do that. Now that we know that, when you're
mm,
working with infinity, which is my specialty and what I
mm,
hope everyone starts to do, you have your own infinity that is unique to you, which a lot of people call the soul. And you also have the infinity that is everything, right? And a lot of people
yeah.
nickname God or source or things like that.
Mm,
And that is the different, those are the different things that are infinity. So if you think about it, if it's infinity and you're plotting points in infinity, it kind of gets boring, right? But
mm,
it can be used to describe a feeling. So if you are feeling angry, sad, I don't know, not, not your best, those are
distorted.
feelings that you could categorize as negative. But
Yeah,
what's going to help you is to actually say, I feel sad, angry like this, because then
yeah,
you can meet those parts of yourself and find out more. If we keep saying negative or we say that person's negative, all we're doing is judging someone for their traumas. Like you're like, oh, I
yeah,
feel this person's negativity. It doesn't mean you need to sit there and listen to all their negativity, but us telling them that they're negative, that is kind of the thing. Does that make sense?
yeah.
And positive
The other
energy,
thing,
again, is a
the other thing is
location.
here. Do you know this is someone who was talking about open third eye? How does that have impact on
Okay, so
someone's life?
our third eye is already open, but the difference is, and the reason why it's nicknamed open and close is
Mm,
because you need to use it, right? Like that's the only thing. If you're not using it as in you just ignore it, then you don't know. So when you're reading a book and you have images in your head, do you have images in your head when you read a book?
yeah.
That is your third eye. So when you're doing a
Mm,
mathematical equation and you're thinking about and you memorize the equation and you're putting it together in your head, that's your third eye.
oh,
When you're
that's how
writing a
it
book
works.
and you're thinking of a story of how you can put the characters together, that's your third eye.
I didn't know that. This really
Yeah.
new.
Isn't that
This really
fun?
new.
And so I did this on the live the other day and I said, okay, picture a cat. Do you see a cat?
Yeah.
Pick up the cat.
You cannot pick it.
You can?
You can't.
Yeah, try to pick him up. Did you do it?
Yeah.
Okay, turn the cat pink.
It's hard.
Did you turn it pink?
Yeah.
Okay, now run to the castle in front of you and put the cat in the castle.
I don't have a castle here.
Do you see it? Make one.
Yeah.
Okay, you just played around with your third eye.
That's how it works. There's
Yeah!
nothing you said if you open the third
Isn't
eye,
that
you're gonna
fun?
have a lot of things. Yeah. There's a lot
Okay,
of things that you're going
are
to see.
there.
You're going to start
Okay,
seeing
we're
horrible
gonna say
things.
one more. So,
Mm.
like energies that you are interested in, are there any gods or anything that you're interested in? Aliens?
And I've never thought about those things. Aliens.
Are you're
Does
interested in
aliens
aliens?
exist? Does
Huh?
aliens exist in this world?
There's it's complicated. I have a lot of content about that if you want to know more. But
Mm.
what's interesting to you? Just like what energies would you like to talk to?
Ancestors.
Who? Oh, an ancestor? Okay. So right now, what kind of, I'm just going to show you, this is you exploring. So infinity and with your third eye. And remember, third eye is the name that humans have decided to call it, but you can name it anything you want. Okay, so let's say you are struggling with something. Is there something that you can think of that you're struggling with?
When I have nothing that I'm struggling with, the only thing that I'm struggling with, I think, is I'm financially. That's
Okay.
what the only
So
thing that I'm
now
struggling
you ask your ancestors to say, is there an ancestor right now in your head? Just say, can an ancestor sit in the chair in front of me that can help me with my finances?
Is it that possible?
Do it.
I've never seen any of them in my life before.
Do
How this
it.
gonna happen?
Do it. Are they
To come in
sitting there?
front of me? They won't haunt me.
No.
I
It
won't be
doesn't work
haunted.
that way. Are they sitting there?
That's the only thing that I fear.
Do you see them?
No, not right now, not right now, not right now.
What do they
I'm
look like?
afraid. It's scary. Huh? It's a little
Oh, why
bit
are they
scary.
scary? There's
Oh
nothing to be
no.
scared of.
Yeah, let's do it next time, not
They're a
now.
part of Earth.
They're part of, yeah, I do know
Yeah, our
that. I do
ancestors
know
are a
that.
part of
I
Earth.
do know that. But
Huh?
we'll do that next time, not today.
But just now you know
It's
you can
scary.
do
Huh?
it.
I can't
Everyone
do
can
it
do
right now.
this. Everyone.
I'll do it next time.
Yeah,
I
but
have to think
everyone,
about
but now
it.
you believe it? You believe you can do it.
I believe I can do it, but I can't do it right now.
No, you don't have to. Just all I wanted you to know is that you can do it.
Oh, but I don't have that power.
You do. Everybody does. That's my job
What?
is to show people that they
What?
do.
What? Where does that power come from?
It's
That's my
from
question.
us. We all have it.
We all have it.
Yeah,
It's
isn't that
something that I've
cute?
never practiced
Oh,
before.
I'm so
It's
happy that you
something
know
that I've
now.
never practiced before. It's scared I can't do it right now. I
No,
think
you
next
don't
time I'll
have
try to
to.
do that.
I just want you to know that you can. And you never have to do
Oh,
it. It's just that I
oh,
want you to know that you can.
oh.
Isn't it exciting?
This is incredible, incredible. I've never thought that I have
Yay.
this kind of power.
Yeah,
I don't
everybody
think about that.
does.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's just
This
everybody,
this is the
it's
first of
because
its kind.
humans don't know. And so what happens is they tell each other that, they give themselves titles and tell them that they're this and this. Everyone is special.
Mm.
And you have and the more you work on this, if you want to, you find out your special version of it.
Oh, does mean that I have to start to practice these kind of things.
Yeah, that's what happens when you start like having fun and playing. When you start playing around with this, you start to find out your version. You have something cool that I don't have, and I have something cool that you do. But we can all do
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
Isn't
Oh,
this exciting?
yeah, it's exciting, but the problem is that now how to discover those things
Well,
is
this is
unique
my
talent that you
specialty.
don't
So
know about it.
if you're
Yes.
struggling, I can help you.
Mm.
And I have all kinds of fun things to like work with it.
I think let's leave this for next time. Let's leave it at
Yeah,
this.
of
I'm really
course.
excited, I'm really excited
It
about
is
everything that you have
exciting.
explained. Yeah, I will thank you for your explanation
Of course.
and your guidance. Some of us, what we like in life is guidance. We need those who can guide us to those kind of things. I've
Yeah, I
never
just
thought
hope
about
everybody
those things.
finds me so I can help them do this. I want everybody to be able to do this.
Oh, are you from UK?
No, well, I live here for a long time, but I am
In the
from
UK,
California.
California,
Yeah.
USA.
Yeah, but I've lived here for a
How
long
long have you
time
been in
in
UK for?
London.
How long have you been in the UK for?
I don't even know now. Maybe 15 years? I'm not sure.
15, 50.
Yeah.
Oh, that means you have been living in UK for a very long time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. Okay. Let's leave it at this. This has been a really fascinating conversation with you.
Oh, I'm so happy.
Thank you
Check
for
out my
everything.
link in bio. I have other things you can check out as well. So if you want to have a look.
Oh, okay, no problem. That's what exactly I've been doing.
I know, that's the whole point. And it can get
Oh,
even more fun. And there's nothing to be afraid of. Don't be afraid. If you're afraid, it
okay.
means that there's something, it's a trauma.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that's and not a bad thing. It's just that you met a part of you that's hurting.
I have a girl mine who told me one day that no, we some of us we have those ancestors
No, everybody does.
that have been protecting us. Some of them help us
Yeah, ancestors are a part of the
to
earth.
protect
So
us,
it's
yeah, protect us
yeah,
from
so
dangers,
yeah,
from
ancestors, because
danger.
people think ancestors are just their family, and they can be, but it's mostly it's the ones that you are built with from earth. So
Yeah.
there's nothing, they're special and perfectly related to you and who you are. So it's not like some random person that's in history. It's someone who's very a part of Earth that's very connected to who you are
Very
right
close
now.
to you. But
Yeah.
is
So
it
don't
true that
worry,
they're always with us?
it's not a ghost.
It's not a ghost. Is it true that they're always with us? They walk with us. They protect us
What?
all the time.
Yeah. Yes, this is the thing. I know a lot of people don't agree with this, but
Mm,
I know from my experience and my whole life,
mm,
everything is like an ecosystem. Have you ever, like a pond? Everything works together. So it's a
mm.
perspective. So if you look at a
That's
pond and you see a baby duck here and a mom duck, and there's
mm,
little tadpoles, and there's also some kind of bird that eats fish. So this
yeah.
bird starts eating these fish, and it also tries to eat the baby ducks. So from our perspective, that's a
Mm,
cycle, right? That is going on in this little ecosystem to keep it going, right? But if we
yeah.
look at, if we're the tadpole baby, the baby frog, we would be scared and think that um, that thing is bad, but it's not. It's the whole process, right? So that is
Mm,
how everything works. All the energies are doing these things, and that's how it works. It's very complicated, but that's if we want to make it easy. It works together. And
mm.
so when we're afraid of something, it's because we have one perspective instead of many perspectives. And so what I help people learn is to have many perspectives and grow your
Perspective.
perspective.
Mm. This person told me that these ancestors they can protect you from dangerous situation.
A lot of energies do this, not just ancestors.
Mm,
And you do it too. Parts of you do it. There's versions of you that help you. It's not just them. It's not just like
mm.
things that are away. It's you as well. You protect yourself too.
How?
You have bigger versions of you. You have many, many versions of you.
How many versions of my? How many versions do I have?
Infinity.
Infinity.
And so
Just one.
you have branches as well. So as a human, you
Now,
are,
how many branches do I have?
let's say there's this big energy, right? Right here. And there's a
Mm-hmm.
branch coming like this. And there's this branch
Mm-hmm.
and this branch and this branch and this branch. All of
Mm,
these are a part of this energy. All of those. And the humans that they're connected to are also a part of this energy. So you are
mm.
both that branch that's close, and you're also this,
Now, how
right?
many branches do I have?
You have infinity.
Ah,
Everyone does. That's why when people are scared of these things, they're scared of
mm,
like a group. When people say that they sell each other's souls, how can you sell a soul that holds all of these other energies? It's not yours to begin with. You share it, right?
Mm. Now, how can I protect myself?
By boundaries.
By boundaries? I have to
Yeah,
build some
boundaries.
kind of boundary around me,
Yeah,
around
no,
myself.
boundaries. The things that you like and the things you don't like.
I
So,
put a
and
boundary.
this can be this can be humans, and it can be also
Some kind of
energy.
hedge. Is it
Huh?
like a hedge? Is it like a hedge?
It is like, when
A,
you go to
a wall?
a club
Mm-hmm.
and there's bouncers at the club,
Mm-hmm.
and you give the bouncers, let's say you're having a party in the club, you give the bouncers a list of the people who can come in and a dress code.
And
That's what your
those who you don't allow inside.
Yeah, that's your boundaries.
That's the boundary.
Yeah.
It's not like a hedge.
No, it's just that.
No, or a wall.
It's only that.
Just like that.
It's only
Okay.
that. And you have to write down
Oh,
everything you like and everything you don't like.
so what does it take to list all
Just
those
all
things
of it, you write it down. You just write a list
on a
of, like,
piece
I
of
don't
paper?
want to see this, I don't like this, and it
After doing that,
works. Yeah, that's all you have to
after doing
do.
that,
Yeah. I did that. I talked to all different energies and I did that. And it works.
how do you talk to how do you talk to those kind of things?
It's my job. This drawing, all of these, I interviewed energies and I drew them, how they look.
What do you use?
I just talked to them.
Ah,
I love this
who
enthusiasm.
taught you?
Me too. I love
Who taught you?
What?
Who taught you? Who taught you?
Me. I taught myself.
You taught yourself.
Yeah. My bigger
Nobody
energy
taught
taught
you.
me. My bigger
Hmm.
energy.
Even I'm asking myself, how did you discover all those things?
Yeah. But that's what happens. You just get curious. The more you ask yourself stuff, the more cool
Hmm.
things come.
I'm a
But
kind
we're
of
so
person who
focused on
loves
outside
learning.
stuff that we forget. We forget to ask
Hmm.
ourselves, what do I like?
But sometimes curiosity can launch you into problems.
No,
That's a
that's a program. That's an outside program.
hmm.
Curiosity inside, it's the best thing you can do. It's the best
Curiosity cannot
gift of
lead
life. Inside.
you into problems.
Curiosity. What do I think about this? What do I think about that? Do I like this? Do I not like that? That's curiosity
Yeah,
inside. So someone shows you something, you're like, in your head, you're like, do I like this? Is this something I love? That's curiosity. And then it
curiosity.
gets deeper. Then you're like, why do I love it? Why do I love this TV show? Why do I like those clothes? Why do I like this food? Why? How is that dangerous? That's getting to know yourself.
There's nothing dangerous.
It's not dangerous.
Get to know about yourself.
Yeah, it's the gift of life. It's to know
It's a
more
gift of
about who
life.
you are. And you just keep
Oh
going
yeah.
deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, and it gets more exciting and more exciting because the deeper you know yourself, the deeper you know everything. So you will enjoy life more because you'll start to see things in more special ways because you know more about yourself. You're going to enjoy food more. You're going to enjoy
Oh
walking outside in nature more because you're going to know yourself. You're going to know what you like, right?
yeah.
You're going to find better relationships because you're going to know yourself. So you're going to know the people too. So you're going to have good matches.
You know, this is first of its kind for me. I've never had something like this. This is my first time to see something like this in my whole life.
It means it's time. Now's the time.
And I don't know how long this is going to take me to learn more
You're
about
doing it
this thing.
now. There's no how long it's going to take you. You're doing it right now.
Hmm.
All of these things you already are doing. And I proved it to you earlier in the live.
Yeah.
You're already doing it. You just don't know you're doing it because it's just not normal in cultures to tell people that. And I know I'm only one doing this. I know because I've been looking on TikTok for people to collaborate. I know I'm the only one that does this. So it's time, and you're doing it. I'm really excited that you could do it too. I knew you could, but I'm excited that you know that you can.
Oh, this won't be easy, huh?
It is easy. You just did it.
I
Don't
did.
tell yourself that. Don't write your story that way. It is easy. You did it in 2 seconds. It's always based on what you like.
Mm,
You can't go wrong. It's about what excites you and what is so fun and interesting. How's that hard? That's the best. And you know you
mm,
can do it as well. So you know you can do it, and you know it's about your excitement and your interests. That's easy,
mm.
right?
Yeah. Oh, I think let's leave it at this. Until next
Okay.
time. It's been a
Yeah.
fascinating conversation with you.
Okay. Go ahead and
Mm.
have fun exploring.
And explore. Yeah, I'm gonna keep exploring
Yeah.
and get to know more about the thing.
And don't be afraid.
Okay. Thank you for your guidance. Yeah,
Of
and
course.
explanation. Yeah,
Do you know how
you're
it works?
such amazing soul.
Do you want me to turn it off, or do you know how to it works?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. I
Or
never.
do you want to
I
stay?
know how it works. I have nothing.
Oh, do you
Yeah.
want to stay?
Let me go. I have to rest tomorrow because tomorrow I have to go to house. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm a
enjoy
house.
your day
I have to go to
tomorrow.
house. Okay.
And I'll see you soon probably.
Okay. Bye bye. Until
Bye.
next time. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye. All right, so like here's what's so wild
Oh, he's
about
so
all this.
precious.
That was amazing and so fun. And I feel like, I mean, obviously we've our bigger energies, I guess, plan this, but it's like I was just reflecting on this like a minute ago as he was talking. I'm like, did I just like stumble backwards into a community? Like what just like having these in-depth conversations and like these just beautiful magical moments, and I'm like, this is hilarious that I'm
I
like, oh,
know.
Trent's here. I'm like, I just met Trent yesterday. Like
No, I love it.
it's so fun. But okay, so he asked you, he was like, oh, who taught you? And you're like, oh, I taught myself. My bigger energies taught myself. And earlier today I posted like a little like 5-second video on my page about like, it was about energy healing, and I said like, oh, did you learn energy healing or did you remember it? Because like from my perspective with energy healing is kind of my thing, that like you people teach it obviously, but it's really more like you're remembering it. Like it's
I agree.
not, like it's almost like you're being reminded, like somebody shows it to you once. That's how it felt for me anyway, every time I learned
That's
all the
you're
methods.
correct. That
Yeah,
is what it is.
yeah, like it's a weird feeling. Like it's like you walk in and you're like, oh, I'm gonna learn something new, and then they show it to you once, you do it, and you're like, oh shit, I've been doing this for like forever, haven't I?
Yep.
And then you just do it. And that's the thing that I really want to like help other people with, because it's, to me, it's the most fun when it's like you show someone how to do it and then they're like, wait, I can do this. I'm like, yes. And it's like
Yeah.
I was trying to explain to
I love it.
somebody, because like I started off with Reiki, because Reiki is like the gateway drug, to energy healing, essentially, right? Everybody starts with
It
Reiki,
is.
right? And like Reiki is all about like there's attunements and hand placements and, oh, the secret symbols, and don't tell anybody the secret. It's very silly, right? But like
Yeah. No, but it's
it's the
because they have to keep their little school intact, right?
exactly, right? Exactly. So it's
That's
like
what it is. It's a system.
it's a system. I get it, but like they don't show anybody these
Yeah, they're
symbols.
very serious.
Even though now you go on Etsy, you can see the power symbol anywhere now. But
Yeah.
like you start with that, and then what I do, I call it quantum healing, but I don't really have a name for it. And I was trying to explain to somebody that I'm like, you don't need attunements to do this, and they're like, how is that possible? I'm like, I can't attune you to what you are.
Yeah.
You can't, you know what I mean? Like,
That's the best way to say it.
right, like because that's all I'm like, you are the quantum field. How can I
Yeah.
attune you to something you can already access this. As soon
Yeah.
as I show you this once, you will do this forever. And like it blows people's minds. And it's like, how do I describe this? And I'm like, no, you are this.
Exactly. The cutest for me is always most of my clients, like the first time like I have a session with them,
Yeah.
they're like, "Oh, I know this." And I'm like,
Hmm.
"Of course you do."
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they're like, they're like, "But I don't know how I know it. Like, how
Yeah.
did I know that?" And I'm like, "But that's how it works. Like, that's all I'm doing. I'm
Yeah.
helping you remember. I'm the memory lady."
That's exactly. I mean, that's kind of how I've been feeling these last few days, that like as I go through your content and have these conversations where I'm like, yeah, oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Or even the stuff that doesn't like fully make sense yet, I'm like, that's gonna make sense in a minute. Let me just put
Yeah.
a
Yeah. But that's what it is. That's what it,
yeah.
like, and that's why I'm very sad with people who are only doing like those things, because they're doing a disservice to themselves and others. And if they're happy, that's fine. But a lot of them, I don't think they are. And I've seen a lot of drama on TikTok too with the people, because I don't know, like the people will do all these wild things that there's claiming is going to happen. And that was just like one wild timeline. And I'm like, oh
Hmm.
man, here we
Hmm.
go.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're actually your personal realities. You can, like, I don't even say the word timeline, but it does apply in the sense of, you can think of you have your, like the internal reality, and the internal reality can kind of go into like tied little timeline things, but it's only when you're like dealing with that kind of stuff, like if that makes
Hmm.
sense. So like if you're dealing with time, for example, if you're talking about a past life, as in like not past life, sorry, a past self, like you're when you're a child or something, in that sense, you can kind of think of it as a timeline,
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
it's like you're talking about time, but you need to start folding up that little line into your internal reality, because they're all going free and wild, and you haven't integrated them. So it's funny because even timelines, when people talk about that, I'm like, oh no,
Yeah.
because like
Yeah. Yeah.
you need to roll up your timelines.
Yeah.
But yeah, in
Yeah.
the external reality as well. And remember, I was talking about the seven stuff that got out of hand as well. Like, I think it's right now here. It's the day that there's supposed to
Oh,
be
it's today
a
oh my god.
goodbye.
Oh my god, the
And
world's gonna end today.
I
That's
know
right.
people were being a little, there were some stragglers onto my videos, and I was like, they were like, how do you know this? Is this going to be okay? And I'm just like, you do realize in Australia, it's already the 27th,
Yep, 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 yep. Yeah, yeah.
and
We're
in
already
Asia.
gone. We're already gone. Yep. Yeah.
And I don't know. And then the girl that did it was like, people kept saying, oh, well, do you know what they said? And oh my God, there's just so much funny stuff. And I'm like, you guys,
Well,
it's,
don't you think that like some of that is kind of like when we get caught in those rabbit holes? Because I've gotten caught in those rabbit holes. I didn't know about seven until I saw it on your page, but I've
yeah,
gotten caught in rabbit holes like that before.
yeah,
I feel like that's kind of like a like you giving your power away to something external, right?
it depends.
Okay.
If you are interested in it and you're honest with yourself and you actually are loving it and obsessed,
Yeah.
there's something there for you to learn and connect with. It could be a version of you. It could be a version of you working on that thing. It could be anything. There could be so much. Sometimes I know, I'd say 95% of the time I know, and my energies will prep me and tell me why. And sometimes it's, I don't know anything. And then sometimes when I don't know anything, it starts to trickle in slowly and then goes away again. And it's, it drives me insane. There's someone on
Mhm.
here that they've been like pushing me forever, and they won't let me block them. And they keep pushing me
Mhm.
to her over and over again. And it's driving me insane because they don't tell me why.
Mhm.
One of the ones, and that's the ones they push me. But anyway, that's just me. But for example, this thing that they're talking about, those things that people put dates on,
Yeah.
the dates are a good example of humans trying to pin down something that is not linear.
Yeah.
So like they are the ones deciding this, not the energies, right? And when they decide this and they do this little thing, they like put a pin in it. It's like this free flowing thing and they pin it. That's when it causes problems because other people can feel it too.
Right.
Oh, Trent is back.
Oh, good. Trent's back.
Yeah. So when that happens and they're like having all these things and people are like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. All these people are coming for different reasons. Some people are not honest with themselves and they're doing the power, giving their power away. Some people are actually, like I said, like how I am, where they're involved, their energies are involved in it. And some are actually interested because the information in there is giving them a little memory key that they don't know how to get or what's in there. And so with the 7 I know, but there's this other girl I'm so irritated. I'm so over it. But I saw that she came back again and I'm like, no, please. I thought I had a break. But anyway, the 7 I love it because it, most of the time it has people in it that have little keys in it. So I'm just like obviously getting pings every second. And so they told me, one of my little energies, they told me that they're going to, I felt weird about this. And like I said, for me, you guys get it. When they told me this, I still am like, okay, whatever. But they said they're going to flip the attention to me. And it did happen. And they flipped it because they knew that I accepted it. Because if I didn't accept it, I'm like, ah! But I did. I got really into it. I loved it. And I'm so grateful that I know that's sad because a lot of people were scared, but I'm so grateful that I got to be that for people. Like if someone is freaked out or it is their time to find their key in this, I'm so happy that I had this opportunity. Like I'm like, it's done now kind of today. But it was very, I don't know. I was very honored that I got to be a part of that. Especially since it's kind of funny and weird because it's like that girl's thing. Like it was her opportunity too, but she didn't take it. And that's another thing, but I won't go into that. I didn't tell anybody that because that's weird. And it makes me feel creepy. So I don't like to talk about things. A lot of people would do that as clout, but but
That's
anyway.
why you're hogging all the books. Over here with a great big bookshelf. Got like one book.
Wait, what?
That's why you're hogging all the books. I'm over
Wait,
here
which
with a big
books?
bookshelf and I only got one book. I'm just making a joke about the reference from the last slide. But
I know, I'm like, which books though? I'm not hogging any books.
Oh my God.
People aren't making their books. They're not putting books in their bookshelf. I'm not keeping anything.
all the books. Not sharing the books.
If anything, I tell them like, do you see that book that hasn't like, you need to touch it so it becomes real. Like, look in there. That's what I do.
Oh, this is completely off topic and a little bit selfish of me, but guess who just got groceries? We gonna be eating good tonight.
Oh, good.
Oh.
Good.
No more beans and carrots. I can't handle that.
Oh.
Is that where you went to go grocery shopping?
Yes.
Okay.
Good,
Oh, you
good.
missed the little guy that was on here.
Oh,
He
Penguin.
realized he has power. Oh, it was
It
so
was
cute.
so magical. It was so magical. Oh my
He's
God,
like,
it was so
how
good.
do I have this power?
Yeah, related. She's like, everybody has this.
It's
Like,
so cute.
all do. It was so good.
I know, I loved it. Like, I think that's the highlight of my year.
That was good.
It
So
was
wait,
so sweet.
is that like an example of a memory key then? Because I actually
Yeah.
like haven't
He got a
heard.
basket of memory keys.
Yeah, okay. That's what I figured because I've heard you like mention the term memory key and I saw it up there, but I don't know if you and I have actually ever talked about it.
Yeah.
But it's like when you kind of, or like I guess it's like the remembering thing that we were talking about. When you learn something, you think you're learning it, but you're actually remembering it. So that's it.
How it always is. You're getting these memory keys.
That's awesome.
And remember, memory is not a past thing. It is getting your stuff, remembering your stuff that you have. It's like
Yeah.
if you're playing one of those RPG games and you like
Yeah.
your stuff fell in like the game and you have to like put some money in to get back in to get the stuff that you dropped when you got like cut or whatever.
Yeah.
That's kind of the vibe. You're getting those back that you thought like it's like they were yours. They're yours. They're there.
Yeah.
It's that kind of vibe.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, have either of you or anybody here in the chat experienced anything from mental health care professionals to even adults when you were children saying, "There's no way you remember that," or even now they say, "There's no way you can remember that."
Yeah, all
Yeah.
the time.
I can
Yeah.
remember when I was 2. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not making it up. I can play it like it's a movie in my head and even go dig up stuff I buried as a child.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the amount of healthcare professionals that are like, "That's impossible. No human can remember that." I'm
Yeah.
like,
Okay,
"I'm with you,
this
then
is
I'll show
something
you."
that I think a lot of don't quote me on it, but a lot of like I bet a lot of people in medicine would be like, "You're a weirdo," but I'm just gonna say it for you guys. My energies told me that memory actually doesn't come from the brain. That
Yeah.
is processing memory comes from the brain. So when you process something, for example, if you're processing in a food thing and there's like extra stuff still there, that's what people are seeing when they see memories in the brain.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not the actual memories being stored.
Okay. Because I scared the pants off of a therapist before. She was like, "Well, do you
That's
remember
why.
back in our first session 2 years ago?" And she's trying to like go through her notes. And I went ahead and went, "Yeah, you were wearing this. You had this kind of makeup on. Your lamp was over there. This was over there. This was over there.
Yeah.
We talked about this first, and then she stared at me like, It's like, oh crap, that's not a normal person, or sorry, a regular thing that she would encounter."
Yeah.
So went
And
back.
remember also that I talked about when you wake up in the morning, I know it's weird. And like I said, it took some time for me to like harmonize it because I'm like, what the hell? I still like, there's some times where I'm like, okay. You get projected in like over again, like all fresh. So if that's the case, how could a brain store that? Right?
Mm.
So it's
Well,
like, it's going to have residue because it's going to remember it. It's like a thing that gets projected again. But like, how can it be? Like, why would it be anyway? Why? Like, right? So like, for
I
example, when I remember something like from not Earth or Earth, it doesn't start how like a memory does that happened like a few minutes ago. Like, for example, like that would be one that would be in your brain probably because like I said, it's processing it. So if it just happened like an hour ago, it's going to be there because you're like you processed it and it's still there processing, right? Because for you to
okay.
use that memory to remember, oh, I already cooked lunch or it already was lunch, you need that. So it's still in the processor. But like if I remember another version of me, which is just basically, it's not really even a memory, it's just connecting with another version. It doesn't start with like a memory like here. Like it would be like I would feel something or a
Mhm.
weird little thing would happen and then it starts coming in. And the same thing happens. I have a technique in my sessions that I help with that I call fishing for energy. And this is like you can remember anything. Even if it's a dream that you're like, oh my God, I can't remember it, you can remember it. And this is what you do. And it's just, it comes through. And it's because you are basically meeting up with and bringing in those pieces to your brain, and your brain has to process it. So that's why I said it like a medical professional that is like knows about brain activity and stuff, they would argue with me because they'd be like, okay, well, it is there. And I do see activity. And I'm like, well, yeah, it is there because you're processing it. So, so in a way, you do kind of bring it here. So that's why I call everything we do streaming
I
because
do.
it doesn't mean it's kind of that if you think about it, it's streaming. You're like
Yeah.
when you watch a movie, and you're streaming on a platform, it can stay open, right?
Mhm.
But you're not going to stream it forever. You're going to probably close it. I mean, I have a million tabs open, but you're going to close it eventually, right? So it's kind of like it works like that. So again, if you are part of the memory branch and like the energies that are specialized in all different things having to do with memory, you're going to be able to enjoy it easier and be able to teach people about it easier. Because, like I said, everyone can
Okay.
do all the things, but what makes us special
Because
is that we get to learn it longer because our energy specializes in it, and we can teach others about it.
they forced me into the gateway program as a child, and
Oh wow.
it got it got weird. They're not the nicest people. At least the lady I was dealing with was not nice about it, but they were
Like,
making me constantly go into rooms where they were filling them with all sorts of clutter and then say, okay, what was in that room? And then I can tell them. And then they got to the point where they were trying to sneak stuff out of there
what's the
while the door was
gateway?
shut.
Is it Monroe's gate thing, or is it when they were studying
They made me
Monroe's stuff?
listen to a bunch of different frequencies with headphones because I freaked out one of the teachers.
Yeah, but was it
And
from the
so
Monroe thing, or was it from like the government?
I'm not entirely sure. A trailer pulled up to the
Okay,
school and nobody was allowed to go inside of it. And then I had to go inside
sounds like
there, and then they
government
took
stuff.
me like 2 cities away, so it's about a 3.5 hour drive.
Yeah,
And then I'd have to sit in the room, and they'd like, okay, here's all these playing cards face down. What are the numbers on the other side of it, or
yeah, they
how
did
many
that
objects
in
are in
my
this
school
room?
too. They did a lot of in the. How old are you?
I am 28.
Whoa, they were still doing that?
Yep.
Oh my god, I'm gonna be 40 in June, so I'm like, I thought that was ended. Like, that's wild. I can't believe they're
It
still doing
sucked.
that.
They were very rude. They
Because they did
very
that
rude.
to us. What they did is they studied the kid. They would bring the kids, and they did things about communism, and they did things about how intelligent you were and stuff like that. And they would just take them out, and it was a government thing.
Well, I made them angry because I caught on to what they were doing, and they had this like 300 question test. I answered every single one as incorrectly as possible and turned it in.
Good.
And then she just looked at me and she goes, I know what you did. There is no way you got every single one wrong. Like
You're
the
like,
most incorrect answer. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Mischievous.
Let me leave.
oh my god.
Because they were about to, if I had passed that one, they were going to make me stay at that facility.
Mm.
And I was like, okay, well then watch me bomb this.
It's so weird that they did this because also I've done the Monroe things, and those are the guy who did it. He's like, it's just this guy that he's one of the ones that made people OCD about astral projection, but it's okay. Like he did his best. But the way he did it was actually, I think he's the closest to something that, I mean, like, who cares that it's the bullshit with the thing in your head? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know that people get really into that, but it's not that it's bullshit. It's that it makes us feel, it's like, okay, so I used to do these classes about when you listen to music, eat food, or do things. It's kind of like this, it's like playing with paints. And, it's like, trying to think of a good analogy. It's kind of like, yeah, it's like playing with paints, and you already made like a sculpture, but you're adding like beautiful little paint things to it. Like it's an added bonus. It's not necessary. And so like when we eat food, you can enhance eating food and like get more in touch with stuff just by eating stuff or drinking anything and things like that. And you can learn more things. It's like reading energy through eating and stuff like that. So the same thing goes for like music and sounds and stuff like that. So when someone, this is what crystals are like too. So when someone puts things in the crystal, like they put in the website, this crystal makes you have good relationships and stuff like that. They're kind of storing that in there, and you don't need it, but you could use that in there because it's stored, and you can add it, get rid of it, you know, whatever. And the same thing goes with these kind of things, like the sound stuff. So the Monroe thing has those sound things, but that's not why it's good. It's because the thing I did earlier with that little guy, and I showed them how they can just do that. Like that is kind of what he does, but then it gets all weird because of the him being OCD about astral things, and people go to it because they want to do astral stuff, and they're blah blah blah. But they don't realize the real magic and specialty is that he's showing you how to work with your visualization and move around in spaces. So I read those papers that the government did to study that, but the way that they looked at it was, again, that stuff that they did in the 90s specifically about trying to measure things that are infinite. And so they tried to do it for the soldiers, and what happened was they think it's this magic thing that you put on your head and it's going to make the soldiers do stuff. And they're literally, that's what those that's what those videos are, literally to help you visualize things and to do the things you do already. And so it's really funny because they're thinking that they're giving these soldiers superpowers and they're like studying this, and it's a bit naive. And then it cracked me up because on TikTok they made it into a thing as well, and I'm like, you guys, these people were naive thinking it's this wild thing. Because people are having cool experiences because we're cool as humans. And anyway,
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Really,
isn't that the way that like here's the thing though, right? Like you're essentially saying like the tool's not the thing. Like we're the thing, right?
yeah,
And this is what's has been so infuriating with me about spirituality, because like when I talk to people about like, you know, my practice or like any kind of practices, they're always like, oh, but you don't use like sage, or like I have crystals on my altar because I think they're pretty, and they do
yeah, same.
store, and they store energy. You can program them,
Yeah,
right? So like they're actually really good for that. Like they're
yeah,
just like good for like stabilizing energy. I just leave it there. I
yeah.
program it. But like when I do sessions with people, I don't use anything. I use nothing.
You don't need to.
Maybe an oracle card for fun because people like them, because it's just kind of a cute way to be like, what
Yeah,
is this, what does this say? But like you
it's
don't need
fun. It's like a
anything.
hangout thing,
It's
kind of. It makes
exactly,
people
it's
feel
for
cozy.
fun. It's for fun. And
Yeah.
but it's like it's not necessary. Like you are the
No.
magic wand. And a lot of
Yes,
people, when I say that, it pisses them off because they're
it
like, no, you
does.
need to make a crystal grid. You need to sage your space. And I'm like, you sage it if it's part of your practice and it's culturally important to you, and you want to do that. Like
Exactly. And
absolutely do
that's what's
that.
special about it. It's again,
That's
it's
what's
making you feel
special.
cozy and a part of something.
Right, but I'm just like, it doesn't do the thing. You do the thing. Like I've taught
Exactly.
people how to like the guy before was talking about like negative and positive energy and whatnot, and asking about the difference. And I'm like, you program your space yourself. You intend it. See gold light coming in. Like it's doing it. And people are like, no, no.
Yeah,
Because
that's
of,
like
it's because of how the society has taught us.
Yeah,
This is,
yeah,
and it's they think that too. So people get worried and they think that they're being like, they don't, like, my favorite is when people say that the government is trying to make us. I'm like, they don't know either.
they don't. I was in the government. They don't. They put me up on an EKG, so
They
many
don't know
MRI.
shit.
It was insane. They were
Sorry.
like, how are you doing this? How are you doing this? Okay, think about that again. And they're like, okay, another MRI, put them in there. I'm like,
they're trying to
why?
My
reverse
favorite was the
engineer
alien
it.
stuff. When people are
Yeah.
like, why aren't they telling us what they are? I'm like, because they don't
We don't
know.
know. We don't know. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're just
They
trying to
don't know.
find.
And people are like, they're doing really well because they're doing magic spells. I'm like, so are you. They're not doing well because of that. They're doing well because of the structures that have been in place taking up space, and they
Yeah,
go and do those spaces, or they're born into them. That's it. They're
yeah,
not magical. We're all
Do something.
magical.
yeah,
If you want to do
yeah.
something magical to mess with somebody's mind who doesn't understand it yet, when you're hooked up to an
That's
EKG,
abuse, though.
do uh like how you were talking about, that's their ritual, that's their thing.
Yeah.
I daze off and I come back and I know something. That's just kind of how it works. I was doing that because I was bored, and then I just looked over to the lady who was sitting at the table trying to run the equipment. I said, "Oh, don't forget to pick up eggs before we go back home." And I just lay back down. And she looked at me and was like, "How did you know I was making a cake?" I was like, "I didn't. I just said don't forget the eggs."
Oh my god.
But that's what happens, is because we need to survive. A lot of us have got to practice ourselves, even if we don't know who we are or what is our tap or anything. We had to practice it. And so when someone sees that, they're like, whoa, or whatever, or they get creepy or whatever. But actually, those people are being dumb because they might have something cool too, but they wouldn't because they're busy being abusive, and because they don't know that they're magical and know who they are, then they like do that. That's another problem that happens with humanity. And that's where like abuse comes in. And I'm like, it's like they either like don't believe you or they do, and they are like, yeah. And I'm like, you guys, like a lot of the time I see this, especially in news things, I'm like, you guys, like, just stop trying to take other people's shit. You have shit. Like,
That's why I think if we want to have fun with it, you two can help teach people how to grow like you are with me, and I can be the one that helps them deal with the abusive part of it if they went through the same situation.
yeah.
Like, They're attacking you because of this. They thought it was this. Now let these two explain to you why it is not this.
Bring them up, bring it on.
There you
You got the
go.
perspective of one side. They got the perspective of the other. Together, we'll get you somewhere.
That's how for me it starts. It's the reframing, and then and then they get to have their key.
Mm.
That's how that works.
No,
Oh
I
yeah,
will say,
Camille, I remember you had like 3 questions or five. You said 3 or 5.
Oh
You
my God.
remember?
No, no. You know what? I was joking yesterday because I was
Oh,
like, I was joking in the sense that I was like, I had already asked so many questions. I listen, every day I have questions and they
I
keep
love that.
changing. And I think, well, part of it I know is that I need to, I'm going to end up booking a one-on-one with you because I know some of it's like just stuff that is going to help me for the next whatever thing I'm in right now, whatever
Yeah.
this current thing that I'm in right now. I think the thing that I'm still unclear about, I know we talked about it yesterday or the day before a little bit, is like the simulation. And you kind of
Yeah.
alluded to it today when you're saying like every day we kind of like phase in. And
Yeah.
I have had so many experiences that corroborate that. Like this was maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I have a lot of stuff that happens in the dream space.
Me too.
And then like that
We're dream girls.
hypnagogic, oh my God, I dream space is
That's why I was able
constant.
to reach you.
Oh, it's yeah, exactly. That's the easiest way. You want to dial me, just get into the dream
Same.
space.
Same. I have so
I'm
many
out
people who
there.
tried to come and talk to me, and my energies are like, she's busy.
Yeah. Oh, it's constant. It's constant. So I had
I
this
know.
dream like 3 or 4 years ago where I was on a spaceship and I was like looking at a catalog. It looked like a real like a imagine like a really large like Sears catalog,
Hmm.
but the pictures were all moving, and it was like a model uh demonstrating different abilities, right? Like what like telekinesis, like you were
Yeah.
shopping, right? And it was almost like I
Yeah.
was
I've
looking
seen this.
through this catalog and I was picking out which things I wanted. And it was really cute because the model was like, oh, you'd see her like do a little telekinesis thing, or you see her
Yeah.
do a little fire thing. And I was picking through and I was like, oh, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. I was picking out different things. And then I start to wake up and I hear these tones. Like it was like a series of tones. It was like do 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 do. Like it was just a series of tones. And then I'm back in my room, this room that I'm sitting in, and I could see my room with my eyes closed.
Yep.
And it started to
All
like
of these things I've had.
it freaked me out
It's pretty.
so much. And I know that like some people at the time were calling that, oh, like you're having like a galactic awakening or whatever. I don't know what word you
No,
want to
you're
use
just
for it.
being yourself.
I'm just being myself, but it was like the one of the first times where I was really aware of like those other parts of me that maybe you want to call alien or whatever, extraterrestrial or whatever. Like I was like, oh, and then it started happening more than I'm like
I don't think
sometimes.
that they're alien, but yeah,
But
we
you
can
know
talk
what I
about it.
mean? Like I
No, I
don't.
know, but I tapped in.
It's. I only use that word because like I need a shared word that is easy.
I'll help you.
Yeah.
I'll
Okay.
help.
Go for it.
I tapped in to make sure because
Yeah.
remember when I talked about the different aliens?
Yeah.
If it
Yeah.
was, I was trying to feel for the the freelance aliens, how they work
Hmm.
on how everything works. At first,
Yeah.
I thought that, and I think you are working with them, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
But it is very much you. And
Yeah.
it is, remember how I say that we can be hubs, but we can also be a type of energy, which you and I are. I know
Hmm.
now we're doing similar things. That, when people say, oh, I'm working on stuff,
Hmm. Hmm.
most of the time, but not always, it's those like freelance alien things. So when you were saying that But then when you started talking about what you were looking at, I'm like, nope. So basically, this is really intense. So if you don't get it, it's don't worry.
Okay. Okay.
Usually I talk about these things in sessions, but they're saying it's okay. So
Okay.
basically, when you are when I talk about how there's different ways to view energy of like where we are and who we are and what's going on, we can see it as like a big, here's everything, and then there's like balls in that everything, and then balls, and balls, like whatever. And there's many other ways to look at it, but that one, and also the branches, right? So
Yeah.
so from that, there's the branches until you become a human, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
So in this case, there are people who come from one of the little branches, or many branches, or a combination of all kinds of stuff, and it's just always different. And so that's why when that little guy asked, he's like, I'm like, infinite, because it is infinite. Even if you are from one, it's still infinite, because there's infinite versions of that one. So it's always infinite. But anyway, but he wasn't ready for this stuff, so I was like, not gonna go there with him. But with that, like that piece, there's people, when people are really obsessing over aliens, they could still be a hub and have all these different versions that are all on. This is why people would get confused. They have all these different versions coming through all the time, and aliens are talking to them and it's going crazy like that because their branch has a lot of that stuff going on, right? They're really into doing that for some reason. But just for example. And just because they came from that one branch doesn't mean these are not important, right? And so when I say someone comes from one branch directly to be a human, that is basically because that is the one that's going to be really fast for them to talk to, usually what they're obsessed with, and then they're going to start to learn more. And one of my things that I haven't got to do this with someone yet because people have not wanted to yet, but I'm excited when they do. Maybe you will, Camille. But when you find out enough of your map and that branching or that thing, you can completely change it to whatever you want. So you'll still be the tap for it, like you'll still be, so they can do stuff, but you can choose what you want to be directly in contact with. Like, for example, I mean, it's hard to say with, mine's too I'm not going to talk about that. But anyway, so back to you. So yours is not one of those little branches, yours is direct. And when yours is direct to something, so it's the one that has all the branches, when that happens, you need an overlay, and the overlay is, okay, so this is where it gets complicated. So I'm going to keep it simple, and I'm not going to go as deep as I normally would. We can save it for the session, but I'm just going to like talk about it so you can start exploring. So there's this overlay, and I have it too, and mine happens to be like this, like talked about avatars and things like that, and it goes over all of the anchor points of your energy on Earth. And so when it comes, it holds it. And so holds it as in like it distributes on that overlay instead of into the humans, because it would probably blow them up. It's too big. Yeah. And so you're like hovering over a human, kind of, if that makes sense. And I am too. So the reason why this is because your priority is what's happening all the time. And the human is sometimes involved and sometimes not, but overall the human is holding all the energy to make so that all this stuff can happen. And what happens is...
Hey, it might get Western here real quick, so I'm going to leave this recording just in case for evidence.
Wait, what?
My doors have been unlocked. Yeah, sorry, that's a cultural thing. So it's about to get Western here real quick. My door has been opened to my house.
Oh,
or to my apartment.
Okay.
Let's see what's going on. I was like, I'm going to leave it recording as a witness in case somebody's still in here, because...
Oh, no.
Oh, I'm getting tired of fighting people. Let's do this. Phone in the pocket.
Yeah, make sure you're safe.
I've head-butted through buildings. They'll lose their teeth.
Just be safe.
Okay, it's a mailman. All right.
Okay, cool.
Okay, thank God.
We like mailmans.
I dropped the package inside the door. I was like, you shouldn't have been up here.
Okay, good. So basically when you have that situation, you're going to see when what they showed me, what was happening specifically, this happens to me, when you're talking to someone or doing something and just like mind your own business as a human, sometimes they show you what you did energetically, like
Mm.
what it did, if that
Mhm.
makes sense.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
you choosing things and doing things that, and then they're going to show you in the best way possible. And so it's a message of something you asked at one point, that this style, there's so many different things, but this is, they're showing you, they're like, this is what your other pieces of you are up to when you did this. We're wondering
Mm.
about this. And so it's going to be, that's why when people are so weird about dreams and try to make it into like symbol things, I'm like, it's very personal, because I can tell you that, but we would have to like in a session go back and forth to find out, and I can help you find what you did and like what you asked, and we can go into it, and I can take you through the dream, and we can just do that. But like on the live, I'm just keeping it as the little shell,
Yeah.
if that makes
Got it.
sense of it.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
that's
no.
basically what it is in this case, and it's not like that's always what it is. Yours is wild like mine. It's like crazy stuff is happening all at once, and
Yeah.
you just got to see that one little thing.
Mhm.
And they said that, I'm going to ask you a question. So,
Yeah.
did you? This is how you find out. They're saying for you to find out. And they're like, I'm not telling you. I'm like, okay. So
Yeah.
basically, when you're right now, go really quick to the a part in the dream
Mhm.
and see if you remember yourself, like what you like. You're a child, things like that. Do you remember that in that moment?
You're saying like the me in the dream that was like looking at the
Yeah, just
catalog or
be them
whatever?
right now and try to see if you can, if you're like, oh, I have a child and I live in this house. Like, do you have that or no?
No, it feels like I'm just there.
Yeah. So what that is, and it was very lucid, right?
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
it was very loose. Like I felt like I was there. Like I
Yeah.
was there.
So what that is, and you remember the two classes about astral shifting, and that's in what it'll you watch that tonight if you can,
Okay. Okay.
because I talk about that specifically, and so you'll be like, you're gonna be so into it because it has to do with dream stuff and things like that. But this is the example when you do listen to that, of when it's you, it's actually it's you, another version of you,
Mhm.
and you are going by a memory that they decided to. So when you woke up, they gave you that memory. So you
Mhm.
didn't take it with you.
Mhm. Mhm.
Now, there's two ways that can. I have those all the time, by the way. And it's sometimes I'm not supposed to be there. Nicole is not supposed to be there. I'm not supposed to like even like I'm supposed to remember it later. I'm not supposed to participate or even just watch. And what happens is
Mhm.
I'll be like, no, I have a partner. Like when something like sexy is happening,
Right. Right.
and they're like, and it's not even about that because that's my filter. And they're like,
Right.
what's going on? Like that's can happen.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, and they pull you out, and they pull you into the astral. When they pull you into the astral, then like you can continue it and like do it and say no and hit them or whatever. But
Right.
it does happen where there's little boo boos. Like I've all of a sudden landed into a version of me that is a surgeon. I have no idea how to do surgery, and I was
Right.
like, it was me. And I'm like, oh no, I don't know who to tell. And I was like telling
Yeah.
my energies in my head. I'm like, ah. And they're like,
Yeah.
we're trying to get you out. Sorry. And then I woke up. They got me out finally.
Mm.
But that can happen. So that's how you tell with those. And you can start to see if it's a memory stick or if you took it with you. So I have a lot of dreams where part of my job is to help. I think I told you guys to help, trafficking girl, like things
Mhm.
like that.
Mhm.
And so a lot of them get unalived, and that's what I take it on for them, and I kind of scare the hell out of the people. Like it's part of
Yeah.
my job.
Yeah.
And when I do that, I get to go through the unalive process,
Right.
and it is weird.
Yeah.
So
That can I wanted to interject real quick, and I'm sorry.
yeah, that's okay.
I relate a little bit with what you guys are talking about. Very few instances, but the unaliving thing. I have died 3 times,
In your
like
dreams.
in dreams, and even when I'm like sitting on a slab
Yeah.
bridge with my legs in the
Yeah,
water, relaxing. All of a
that's what it
sudden,
is.
I just feel whatever is happening. I feel the pain from what's causing the death, and then everything goes black and floaty,
Yeah.
and I feel nothing at all. And it's super
Yep.
relaxing. There's no feeling.
Yeah.
And then I snap back, and I'm like, "What just happened?"
Yeah.
So what that means is that you are like, I mean, a lot of people this happens to, but this is for you, just for you, the fact that you've witnessed it. It doesn't mean that it doesn't happen to you other times. It doesn't mean it happens to, it doesn't happen to other people. But in those instances, it means that you are part of some kind of program having to do with your energy, that lets them, like they have a choice to join you. And it is, it doesn't have to be a passing away thing. It can be other things as well, but it happens a lot, and there's different reasons. And like I said, there's different reasons. So the different reasons is what determines if it's like a thing that's unique to your energy, or if it is something that ever happens to everyone. The one that happens to everyone, I have that also in my Patreon, is it's a choice when you pass away, to find a different version of you that you can go with if it's available. And I have had that experience way too many times I can count. And also people I know that have passed away, they come to me first because of me being me. And they tell me, they're like, I just wanted to let you know I chose this place and this is how I'm living now, and I'm so happy, and it's very cute.
Oh my God.
So that usually, this is the cutest thing, is if you've ever known someone who's like unalived way early, and everyone keeps saying they were so young. That is people sensing and taking the temperature that they chose another version,
Yeah.
and they're still here. Isn't that cute? And I love it. And it's one of those fun things that like I said, I got rid of the ghosts because they were driving me crazy, and they just come intensely. It's not even fun.
Yeah.
But I don't get rid of that. I love that. That's my favorite thing. I'm like, everyone can come to me to tell me where they're going. I love it.
I love that.
And they're really proud too. It's kind of like, it has the vibe of a little kid going like, look at my picture. And I'm like, oh, I love your picture.
Oh, I love it. It's
It's
funny.
so-
I kind of, one of my like first steps into, whatever this world is, spirituality, whatever, was
Knowing yourself.
knowing myself, was mediumship. I actually trained as a medium for God, years, like since like 2015, and I still do go to like development circles and whatnot. And it's funny, I would always joke with my friends that I'm like, I am the most reluctant medium, because it used to freak me out, but I was just also fascinated that like death is just a door or an illusion or whatever. Like I was number one.
Redistribution.
Redistribution. Like I was such a skeptic about everything. So like the fact that I could connect with somebody who's, supposedly dead, I was like, it blew my mind. And honestly,
No, so
it
cute.
but it's like every time I hear stories like that, or anytime I connect with somebody, or like hear somebody else it just like warms my heart so much. Like it gives me such a warm feeling, where it used to freak me out. Even though I was like, I would always say like, oh, the dead freak me out. Now I'm like, no, it's like they're not gone.
You know why it freaks you
Yeah.
out, or freaked you out, is because it isn't what's happening. People made it into
Right.
this static thing that's scary and gross and about what happened as a human. And it's not
Yes.
about that at all. And
Yes.
it's so complicated and special. And the other thing that is, like the only thing is also, it's from everybody's trauma and sadness of
Yeah.
who's left behind as well. So we've
Yeah.
infused that, especially when there's mass things that happen. They basically, you infuse that into history. And so we're just like, oh my God, and you can feel that. It feels gross and scary and sad because it's horrible for the people. You feel that. You don't feel them. You feel that. And so what happens is, another thing that makes me sad is that, like, people don't understand like the ghost thing as well. And ghosts are just little pieces that are like, they need to be conscious enough to rejoin the rest of their energy so that they can heal and redistribute
Yeah.
too. And so in a way, us being like, they're like this for a reason, so that we can like bump into them, kind of, if that makes sense, all humans. And people think of them as, like I said, it's out of hand though. So I'm like, and I know who can do the job, so I make sure that the job's getting done. But I'm like, know. Like I did my time I was a little kid and I didn't know, and they were like around my bed and things like that, and I'm like, and I didn't know any different. It didn't scare me, but like there were some things that scared me because then I saw, different things in life, and then like, you know, just like it's other people that made it. But like for me, there was like I remember there's this weird lady that I would ask questions, and she had like she had like the BLOOD like falling down her, and she always answered all my questions when I went into the underworld. So like no one would answer my questions, so I just went to talk to her.
Yeah.
And like when I realized that like people were scared of stuff like that, I was like, oh no. I'm kind of weird.
I was going to say,
But yeah.
can it represent as a, what do I have to say this? There was this thing I used to talk to a lot, and it was just a shadow. It was a shadow
Yeah.
that I could see follow me around, and I could
Yeah.
see it follow other people around, and I'd say, well, what are they talking about? And the shadow would come back over, and it would tell me what they were saying.
Yeah. Shadows are basically like in a video game when the rest of the stuff hasn't like loaded yet.
Yeah.
That's what a shadow is.
Yeah.
So it could be anything.
Okay.
So it could be like it could be a part of you, it could be anything, and so they just haven't loaded yet. Like they haven't sometimes they don't know how to load, and sometimes it's just not loaded. Like there's so many different they're telling me the ones to say because there's so many different things.
Well, there was
But yeah,
one time
it's
one
just
was
the video game
directed.
vibes. It's like
Okay.
and there's also like there's some that also people get creeped out by that come around like funerals and things like that, and those are the ones I call them little garbage collectors. So when someone, or even like when you're scared in a dream and stuff, when your emotions are so intense, like and really terrified, so you don't like basically how like birds they get what's the word shocked, they get shocked and then they pass away because of the shock. They help that not happen, so they make sure it doesn't overflow, so they kind of like collect the extra that's like staying that you can't handle, and so people see them around doing the stuff like that and they're like, oh my god, but like the poor things, and a lot of them run away. I've seen them run, like they're kind of like they don't want to be seen, and so when people see them they get really freaked out because they just want to collect it and go. But I have a couple of friends that saw them and they were like traumatized, and I'm like, don't worry, they're like making sure you're not more traumatized. I know it sounds weird,
Okay. I
but
have one that traumatized me
but there's
bad.
so many types. But if they're talking to you, that's definitely one that hasn't loaded completely.
No, the one
Orbs
that
are the
scared me,
same.
it was standing over me while I was sleeping, and I opened my eyes, and it's what you would think would be almost humanoid shape, except it's like 9 foot tall,
Yeah.
and it's just leaned
Yeah.
over, looking down at me, and it's got a great big grin, and I'm like,
Yeah.
it's not being mean, but I am scared right now. And
You're allowed to
Pentecostal and
say
Baptist.
you're allowed to tell them to go away or change how they look, by the way. Everyone. You're allowed to do that. That is like the rules.
I end up saying,
So
"Could you get out of my face, please?"
yeah, you're allowed to say that. You're allowed to. Because it's not they're not if they don't know. There's this girl I had a client where she was like so excited. I think she was studying, and she was like she just really wanted to try. She's like, okay, is anyone around me? I want to see you. And so this like for her it was terrifying with like long teeth and things like that. And it was literally like part of her energy family and like one of her like closest like energies that help her with things. But that's just how she looks. And I'm like, and she's like, I've always wanted to know, was that like evil? And I'm like, no.
Oh my
And so
god.
like that's one of my things is I can jump into any like humans or beings to see exactly their perspective. Like that's one of my things. And so I told him exactly what she was thinking and what was going on. And she said she did look sad and cried and ran away. And I'm like, yeah, because you like she wanted to talk to you. She was so excited that
I
you were
went running
ready.
after him.
And so, but you're allowed, and I said, you're allowed to say, like, you can say, can you look like a different version? Like, this one is scary for me as a human. Because they don't know. They
Yeah,
just
what
go
do
to
they
you
know?
when an energy shows up. I mean, it depends on if it's a God thing, there's some things that they do, but we won't go there. But if it's these situations, if they show up because you asked, or because you are, like, in bed, or they see you, or they're, like, just doing something, whatever, right? They're talking to you and engaging. you can say like, as a human, this is like not cool for me. Can you look different or go away? And that's
That's
usually the test.
okay.
Because people usually say, if you're not in my highest good, that's actually what that means. But people are just saying it because someone told them and they're scared. But actually, that's what it means. Can you show yourself in a way that makes sense to my human? If not, I can't be around you. And they have to go because even if they were there to help you, it's not going to help you because that's the whole point of life.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
supposed to
this
you're supposed to have a good time talking to them. You're not supposed to be feeling weird
okay.
and they need to help you understand. So if they can't do that, they're not a good match and that was a mistake and they need to go. So
Mm, true.
That occurred right after a deployment. Bunch of my acquaintances and friends they got blown up
oh,
Oh.
and come back, and I was feeling a little off about it. And that big guy just kept showing up. I seen him in the backyard, and I didn't think anything about it because I was like, I've seen shadows before. It's all right. But when I woke up and face to face, they're hunched over me on the bed. I was like, okay, you can get away from me. And then they started going towards the doorway. I jumped out of bed, grabbed a knife, and started running at them because I didn't understand what was happening. I was like, either it's you or me. Let's go.
I'm getting you, Shadow Boy.
Oh my God, guys. So I'm about to take a shower and go to bed. What do you guys think I should work on tonight? Should I work on the astral stuff? What should I
What are you excited about right now?
Oh God, everything. I'm just excited about
Like, but what
everything.
can you not get out of your head?
Oh my gosh. Well, I want to play with my dream space tonight. That's what I'm like really
That's
excited
what
to
you need
get
to do.
into. Yeah, that's what I think I should do. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Watch those
Uh
videos. Watch those
yeah, I'm
videos.
gonna
There's two.
so you said it's what it's called it's in the Patreon,
Yeah,
the actual okay. All right.
it's in the class. It should be in the class ones, but you can just search
Class.
for astral what's it called? Astral
Like
I don't know
actual
why this happens. Astral shifting and lucid. Just look up
okay.
those three and there's two
Okay, perfect.
parts.
Cool. Okay, cool. I'm gonna get
And that's
into
gonna
that.
be great for sleep time.
Oh, I'm excited. We'll
Let me
see
know
what
how
kind
it
of
goes.
yeah, I can't wait
Yeah.
to see what kind of crazy
Yeah, we're
adventures I get
excited.
into.
I'm sorry you didn't ask for this, but I'm kind of using you as my guinea pig because
Oh,
I am terrified of all of this just because of what my life's been. I have to, do a little bit more reflection because I've had enough
uh-huh.
scary things in this realm that I don't want
Yeah.
them to pop up in that one until I'm ready.
Uh,
Well, she's being your guinea pig, Trent. You should write a list, like I told the little guy when you were grocery shopping. Write a list of all your stuff that you like and you don't like. And I know that sounds
mm-hmm,
dumb and obvious, but do it.
mm-hmm,
And it doesn't have to be spiritual, it can just be stuff you like. And just keep building on that every day. And eventually that's going to become your like manifesto of basically like your bouncer list. I call it a bouncer list manifesto. And you give it to your
mm,
bouncer and you're like, this is the experiences I want
yeah.
Okay.
and don't want.
Right now, every time I try to dive into it, like how you two talk about it, I after our discussions, I get excited and I'm like, I'm gonna go try it, and I end up
Do it right
seeing.
now. Write down three things that you like right now. Do it.
I'm about
Okay.
to do it too. Right before I watch those videos, I have my journal. I'm gonna do it
Do
too.
it.
Yeah.
And think of it like Trent, think of it like wishes. Like you're making
Okay.
wishes of like just things that are just gonna appear. Like and not appear. That you don't want
Because I'm
anymore.
tired of seeing death,
Huh?
and I'm tired of watching people die. That's
Okay,
getting
write it
old.
down.
Yeah.
No more just write, I'm telling you. And just write it down right now. Do it.
All right. No more death.
And
Okay.
Cool.
Trent, are you cool? Like, because I love to send people like gold energy and stuff. Are you cool if I experiment sending that to you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna send you
If
some
you
good
get
energy.
very sporadic and energetic, that would be mine tethered to yours coming back. So I apologize. It's a
You don't
lot like.
listen.
No, Trent,
Listen,
stop
honey.
it.
No, 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 no. Listen. Okay. Before I go, I will say this. I
Good.
can't tell you how many people have come to me and they're like, "Oh, my energy's so dense. Be careful when you get in there." And I'm like,
Exactly.
"Baby, it's fine. I'm a pro at this. I do not worry. I put on my suit. I get in there. It's fine. Like, because you know what? Once you get into somebody's energy, it's like you poke the stuff and it's like vapor. Like it's so hard for me to explain it. Like I know trust me, when
Yeah.
you're going through it and it's real, it feels just like the worst. But when
Yeah.
you deal with it energetically, it just evaporates. So like, no, like,
Exactly.
trust me, I will. I wouldn't offer it if I thought it would ever be an issue. So
And the other thing is that a lot of the times when I'm talking to people, it's not a bad thing. It's normal. It's part
yeah,
of me. I
yeah,
will feel in my body the parts that need help and stuff like that. And with both of you, I have not had that. So
yeah,
just so you know,
yeah.
and
I
it's
love
rare. It's very
that.
rare. So, and I
That's
don't, and I'm just gonna say that because
Oh,
like I always have like a weird thing in my neck, and it's
mm-hmm,
like basically
mm-hmm.
I'm recalibrating and stuff and things like that. And both of you, not once.
I love that.
So just so you
I'm,
know. And I
I'm
think it's
happy I
also
don't.
because
Yeah.
energetically we're very connected and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
usually they tell me right away everything and they have it with you guys, so that usually that's what it means. Like when they don't tell me, it means like we're very, but like I still would have it. There's some people I found out, like one was my energetic child and
Mm-hmm.
he was the same age as me, and I always had different areas that were like
Yep,
acting. Do you
yep. I've
guys,
had that.
neither one of you have that? So that can help you, Trent, as well. Okay, what was the
Yeah.
second you're gonna put on your list, Trent?
So we got no more death,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
happier experiences involving travel,
Okay.
Mm.
Did you do a
because
third
I
one?
have. I'm trying to think of the third one. I when I ask for ideas, I end up coming back with stuff that we don't
No,
necessarily have here,
no.
so I don't like
Don't
that.
ask for ideas. These are your dreams. This is what you want and what you don't like. Things that are just when they come up, like something comes up and you're like, oh, let's say someone told you what to do. I don't like that. Just it's like literally a journal manifesto of all the things you like and don't like. All of them.
Well, let's go for a wild one.
Okay.
Feeling better. Want to have dreams
Put it on
of
the
feeling
list.
better, being in better places.
Put it on the list.
All right, guys. I'm gonna go do some fun stuff.
I'm gonna head off too because it is. I think it's almost 2.
Oh my gosh. All right, get some sleep, everybody. I'll
Yeah.
see
But
y'all
All right,
anyway,
later.
Trent, do your list.
I got it. I got it. I got the list.
As they come up though, don't we just did it here, but as they come up. So if something happens and you like it and you're like, I love this, write it down. Oh my god, I hate this. Bye, Camille. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. I got it written down. If I knew it was that simple, I would have done that a long time ago because the amount
It
of funerals
is.
I have
I wish
attended.
I wish you were here when that guy was here. It was the cutest thing. He was just basically he's like, I'm powerful. Like it is that easy. It's basically you're getting to know yourself. That's it. Everybody that is creepy and saying these things, they're either themselves abused or they're abusing you that say those things. That's it.
Well, I tried to talk him out of it, but I didn't. Like I said, I don't understand enough of everything going on. I'm just like, you guys, you sure you think you have to give up everything?
No.
Why? Well, God told me I have to. Why would anyone tell
That's their
you to go
understanding
that
of
way?
what God told them. So no,
Why
you have to tell them that each time. That's people were saying this about the 7 thing too. They kept saying 7 explicitly said no, they didn't. Cassie said this. This the girl that took it down and decided and also pushed the energy to say things. It's always our way of saying it. Always. So when someone says that, no.
Well, I did not understand it at first, and I was taking this as the same thing with you, how you're trying to instruct, not indoctrinize.
Yeah, and also I have an intention as well. My intention is I want everyone to be free and be able to be themselves because that's the world I want to live in. I want to live in a world where I'm hanging out with someone and they're like, I just learned this cool place I'm from. Like I want my world to be like that.
Okay, that's
So
probably why we ended up connecting then, because
that's my
I'm
whole
like, I want
intention.
people to be authentic. I
Yeah,
want people to stop giving a shit and just be themselves
exactly. And having
for
fun
selfish
and bringing fun things that like I've never seen before. I love that. That's my like that's what I love. I'm always looking at comments and I'm watching and I'm like, when is someone going to say something cool? Or even in art, when someone makes something that has nothing to do with an inspiration, it's like their own thing. I'm like, oh my God, thank you. Like that's the biggest gift to me. So that's what my
that.
intention is. I want to live in that world. That's why I'm doing this. And
Okay,
it's
that
fun.
makes sense.
It's
Because I
so
fought
cute. When that
Kevin.
guy was knowing his power, I was like over the moon. It's the coolest thing. Camille loved it too.
That's
When
awesome.
it was so cute.
I wish I could have been there for it.
He's like, "What?" Like I kind of want
I
to like I'm gonna maybe try and download it. Like it's the cute. It was so cute. He was
Do
like,
you have
"Oh,
their username?
huh?"
You have their username? Maybe we can invite them back in.
I think he wants to come back. He's like, "Oh no, no, not today. I didn't know I could do this."
Oh, are you
He's
talking
like,
about
"Next time."
Penguin? That was Penguin, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yep.
it was so cute. But yeah, and he's gonna come back, so you get to probably see him go, "No."
It's pretty exciting when you realize what it is. And
Yeah, it's exciting because, and he's like, "Ah, it's gonna be a lot of work." I'm like, "Stop telling yourself that way. You just did it. How is it? Was it a lot of work?" He's like, "No," and I'm like, "It's not a lot of work then.
for
You're
me, it
getting
was
to know
three books.
yourself." What?
3 books. For me, it was 3 books, religious texts to finally go, okay, there's a core concept here. Everybody's talking about the same thing. What is it?
Except they're not telling you to go into yourself, though. That's the only thing they keep forgetting. The only person who knew that is the Mary Magdalene things. Like she was talking about that. But if you look at the ones that are not in there, the extra codex things, she's the only one that said that. There's no one else who said it. Just her and me. We're just
I'm gonna let you
chilling.
go. It's too late for you. You got to get some rest.
Yeah, I'll be okay. But yeah, see you soon and get your bouncer list going.
Yeah, that's gonna be. Yeah, I'm gonna keep adding to that list. There's too
And
much
make
going
sure that
on right
there's
now.
good stuff too that you like. Don't try and do both. But obviously, you just have to do whatever comes up.
Because the distant relative great uncle passed away 2 days ago, and the funeral is tomorrow, or I think it was today actually. And I'm worried
Oh,
about going to it because that gentleman used a horsewhip on me and my cousins.
oh,
And so I'm like, I don't want to go to your funeral, not here and not in the projection, okay?
oh.
I like to stay away from that one.
Yeah, write that on your list.
Yeah,
And
I'm
you
gonna
can
do that
make
right
it
now.
vague as well. You can say, I don't want to go to things that people keep making me go to that are like traditional or whatever. Like you can write that as well.
And that is down on the list.
Yeah. Sorry, M Thesco. We're about to go. Catch you on the live next time, and have a look on my link in bio. I have all kinds of stuff. I also have tons of stuff on TikTok. But bye, Trent, and yeah, write your manifesto / bouncer list.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.